DK Metcalf from the Seattle Seahawks, and you're watching NorbCam.
Hey, what's up, everybody? This is NorbCam coming at you, and I just want to make sure that this screen looks okay because I'm looking at my YouTube feed and it looks kind of funky. Is it funky to you guys, or does it look normal? Because my framing is like I'm seeing a quarter of the screen. No? Does it look okay to you? I'm not sure if I'm seeing it. Fellas, what do you think? How does that look to you guys? Can you see it? It's fine? Okay. All right. It looks funny on my screen, but that's okay. As long as you can see everything, that's all good. I'm NorbCam, norbert-caoili coming at you for another roundtable today on Super Bowl week, man. I can't believe it. This countdown leading up to the ultimate sports event, Super Bowl 55 on Sunday. We are just days away, so we are going to talk about this game a little bit. We got a special guest on the panel today. We're missing a couple guys at the moment, but it's going to fill in shortly. But we're going to have a great time talking about this as well. We cannot see the score. What does that mean? I don't know what that means. All right. So just want to remind you guys, too, that we may take some calls on Discord if we have time later on. So please feel free to jump on the Discord, and we'll try to get some of you guys on there as well. But before I do that, I just want to do a quick shout out to, first of all, recognizing the NorbFAM members. Talking about the MVPs like Nick LeBeau, Anthony D, Jesse Duckface, Ryker Rockstar, NINJA-CRK, and the All-Pros Maria Maraj, Jason E, KC Sportsnerd, who is our special guest, Aidan, Pham, Liam, Rawson, and BJ. And, of course, I got to do a quick shout-out to my sponsor, Dovin Real Estate, Daniel Dovin. Yes, give him a call if you are in the market in the Seattle area looking for a house either to buy or to sell. He will take good care of you. Their company sells tons of houses every year, and on top of that, you can talk Seahawks football and sports all you want the whole time. So if you do a one-on-one consultation here, a free consultation, he'll put you in a drawing to win a Cortez Kennedy rookie card. All right, so that is a pretty awesome deal. So without further ado, let's get to the roundtable. Here it is, and we got Steezy's a little sideways today, but we're going to get him all fixed up. But we got the round table. There we go. He's back on his head, back on his feet, like a cat with 9 lives. All right, so let's talk about this round table. It's more like a quad table here, but we're still going to make this thing fly. Let's go from the top and work our way around the horn. First, on the top left there, we've got the coach of Coach's Corner, Coach Bill Marsh. Welcome back to the roundtable, my friend.
Hey, how's everybody doing out there? I think we're pretty excited to get into Super Bowl week and talk about the fun things that are happening all around. A lot of fun announcements to come up and exciting things that are happening and guest speakers that are here tonight, and excited to hear their take as well. So excited to be a part of Super Bowl week with you, Norb.
Oh, yeah, it is. As I say, it's a bummer that our team couldn't be playing in this game. I was so hoping to see the Seahawks and the Chiefs going at it. That would have been my favorite Super Bowl matchup. Wanted it ever since last year, but it wasn't meant to be. However, we'll keep talking about it because it's still fun to talk about the Super Bowl. We got to the top right, we've got DJ Squabo in the house. How you doing, man?
Always a pleasure. Always a pleasure. I just want to give a quick shout out, Coach Marsh, for the great energy all the time. Someone I want to meet with more often, and someone that, we're going to meet later this week. Just the energy, embracing the energy, supporting my career and Steezy's career so early on. Ever since he first came on the show, he's wanted to help us out, and it's been a tremendous thing. The apple doesn't fall far from the tree either, because Mama Marsh has been messaging me as well and showing love and support, and it's all appreciated in so many ways. So shout out Mama Marsh and shout out Coach Marsh. I love you guys.
Mutual feeling, awesome. No doubt about it. Excited to be working with you guys. You brought so much to me, so it's all about paying it forward.
Love it. The room, the love in this room. It's just engulfing everywhere. I love it, man. Let's go.
Well, you're going to see it. We got others to introduce, but the NorbCam tree is it's happening. It's starting to spruce, right? So
It
years
is.
down the road, I'll be like, I'm a descendant of the NorbCam tree.
I've never been referred to as a tree before, but I like trees. So yeah, let's spread them. Let's grow them. All right, on the bottom right, looking sharp as always, Mr. Stevie A. Smith. Welcome back to the roundtable, my friend.
Man, that's you guys. I'm glad I was able to make it on time. You know, I thought I was running pretty late, but as soon as I hopped on, I mean, you know, the intro was popping in. So, like Squab said, you know, always a pleasure. And, you know, I can't thank each and every single one of you guys enough. You know, Coach Marsh, he got some things coming for you guys. And he's been very, very helpful as well. Squab, I mean, I don't even got to say it, bro. And then Norbs, I don't even got to say it either. But, you know, welcome. And, you know, I'm super excited to talk Super Bowl with you guys.
Yeah, and amongst other things. So yes, we're gonna cover all that stuff.
Yeah,
and then we've got a new face on the panel today. A little special guest today, being that it is Super Bowl week, and who else better to have as a guest? Not only a member of NORBFAM, but a longtime supporter of the channel. But we're talking Louis Leibowitz, aka KC Sportsnerd, our resident Kansas City Chiefs fan. Finally, his chance to talk about his team going to the Super Bowl. Man, welcome to the show, man.
Well, I wouldn't say finally our time to talk about my team going to the Super Bowl. We were just there last year and won it last year. But thank you so much for having me on today. Greatly appreciate being with all three of you here today. But real quick, I just got to say, there's one thing I just have to say is that Squabo, I don't know what to say about this man. This man does more than anything. I mean, I honestly love this. I mean, if there's one person who I've known and I've probably been in contact with more than, I don't know, how long? I think it's Squabo. This man, if you guys do not watch Cable 8, I highly recommend you go check out his shows. I mean, I probably had to say he's probably one of the best radio shows I've seen, and it's a huge, and this is my compliment to you, Squabo. Keep up the great work, man, and as well as everyone else on here. It all pays off, and keep up with your dreams and everything you guys want to pursue in the future.
God bless you, young fella. God bless you. Thank you so much. That means the world.
And I love how he just came right out of the chute, right? Like, hey, it's only been a year. Like, I already got to experience Super Bowl and everything else. But with that, I'll still come on your show and, you know, handle you little, you know, piddly winks if I need to.
Yeah, been there, done that just a year ago. But yeah, I'll come on and do my thing.
From his busy schedule, man, we love it. Super glad to have you on here with us, man.
Excellent. Yeah,
my pleasure,
all right.
my pleasure.
Yep. This is going to be fun. So before we jump into breaking down this game, we've been, you know, giving Squabble so much love here, but I got to ask you, man. I noticed on your face, it's just not as pretty and clean as it normally is. And I mean, you're still pretty. Don't get me wrong, but there's something. I noticed a little blemish, a little mark, and as we talked before, a pre-show. What happened to you, man? You had a little run-in. Tell the audience about what happened. What happened to you?
Yeah, Norb, I actually just texted you a picture that, you know, kind of shows it a little bit better. But yeah, so this Monday, I play for so I go to Washington State University and I play recreational sports. I play flag football. And we had a game, and well, there was a player on the other team that was playing really well. And he's not quite as big as me, but he's pretty close. He's got some size to him. And I was guarding him, and they threw him the ball. And I wanted to send a message that I'm not going to allow that stuff over here. So I ran full speed towards dude. Dude caught the ball, and I cracked him. When I did it, I'm not going to lie to y'all. Like, I lost hearing for a minute. Like, all I heard was a ring. It was loud as heck. It was one of those hits. It was great. But I body slammed him, got back up, stayed on the field, finished the game. Next day, it was really sore. And honestly, like, my jaw hurt a lot. And obviously my cheek. Today I went to the doctors, and they said I need a CAT scan to see if anything's fractured, like in my cheekbone. So we'll see what's going on with that as soon as possible. But they did say that I had a concussion in the game. So even though it's flag football, you know what I'm saying, play safe.
Yeah, so I do have a picture. I got that picture on here. I was able to just throw it in on the OBS. So here is what happened. Here is the image of Squab. This is was this taken like right after the incident? How soon after the hit did you take this picture?
This is from today.
Oh, it's today.
because 2 days later, like the black eye got a little bit worse.
Oh,
I got
man.
like a kind of a video, but of the day of, but it's just, I don't know. I think it looks worse now because of the black eye part. That wasn't there on the day of, but it was bleeding a lot more.
Wow. All right. Well, I'm glad that you were still, feeling well enough to be able to come on the show and still, communicate, and you don't have to go into concussion protocol, and so that you're still here. But glad you're all right, man.
Having played on the frozen tundra of the Harvard of the Northwest, known as WSU, many a time after I finished my college career and I ended up getting injured and coming back and going to WSU, I remember playing so many of those frozen games, and I mean, they became vicious. I mean, extremely vicious. And I'm one of the times that I will, I'm not afraid to throw myself under the bus or, self-deprecating humor and such. I consider myself to be part of the Buffalo Bills of flag football in WSU history, from a standpoint of we made it to the title 3 years in a row, which should be great, but I don't have a single story celebrating the rings that I would have, because I don't have any rings from winning the flag football intramural title. So I know, Squab, what you're feeling, man, because the forearm shivers don't get called in those games.
Yeah.
And when we play intramural sports, because I play intramural volleyball even at my old age, I still try to play volleyball, and we don't do it for the rings. We certainly don't do it for any money. In fact, we have to pay money to do it. But we do it for the competition, for the will to win, the thrill of victory, and the agony of defeat. And when something like that happens, Squabo can always just say, well, you should see what the other guy looks like.
Yeah. Well, we do it for the all-you-can-eat at the King's Buffet, too, in the AARP League.
Yeah. The buffet after the big game is always great. So, all right. Well, let's jump into this game, man. Let's talk about it. Super Bowl 55. I think, boy, how can we start with this one? I guess, we will get to some score predictions a little bit later. But first, let's just talk about what kind of game do we expect this to be. Let's start with our guest here, since he is our special guest for the day. So, Lewis, KC Sportsnerd, why don't you start off? Tell us, what is your feeling going into this game? You are the guy who has the most emotional investment in this, because for all of us, we're just here to watch a good game and kind of hope a team wins, but it's not like we were really going to get heartbroken or anything if something happens. You, on the other hand, have everything riding on it. We know what that feels like. It's been a few years since we've been through this, but you're the guy whose team is trying to pull off the repeat. How do you feel going against the Tom Brady-led Buccaneers, man? Tell us about it.
Well, as pretty much with every single Super Bowl, I think, with really any fan, I think you guys probably felt this way too, is that there's a lot of mixed emotions that go through. You can feel a little bit of nerves, also some excitement, and also there's expectations that also can come on your back, especially being the defending champs, and also are clearly right now, as listed in the betting lines, the favorite for this game. Now, I think that even though it is listed as a favorite for this game, I think that there is some reasons to be worried about this. And I think here's the reason why. Looking at, just the injury/COVID situation as a whole, I think that the injury situation, first and foremost, first of all, offensive line. We're down to our backup center, and both of our starting tackles are really not playing for this game. So the big issue, I think, is really going to come, and this is just a little bit a broad kind of outlook on this, but it's just that I think the very big thing is going to be, especially with, I think, correct me if I'm wrong if I'm pronouncing this right, I think it's Veda, I think is that the defensive lineman's name of the Bucs? Vita Vea. He's going to be coming back for this game. People thought his season was over. He is playing in this game. But so I think the big issue is going to be, especially with the left tackle Eric Fisher, him a standout tackle for this team, a huge part of this offensive line, is really going to be a huge loss, I think, for this team. And I think that if they just put Vita Vea on that side, it can really be dangerous. So I think pass protection is easily going to be key. And then speaking of the COVID situation, we're talking about Noah's hair not looking very good today. 20 guys went to a barbershop, and then the center who actually was in close contact, the reason why he is in close contact now is because he was sitting in the chair with the barber who tested positive midway through his cut. And that cut looks hilarious, by the way. Check it out if you guys have not done so already. But I think another big, and just that as a whole completely scared me just off the bat, because especially in this situation now, and now including that close contacts and any positive COVID test will not play this week. And that especially can scare you, especially at this time and this close to the game especially. So I think that especially on the injury side, I think the offensive line really is going to have to come up, especially because of the tackles. Both side tackles not going to be there, and also down to our backup center. And then the COVID situation is also a little worrisome, especially because of what ended up happening. It could have been a lot worse also.
Wow, isn't that crazy? That of all things, COVID contamination from a barber for a haircut. These guys go, man, I should just let it grow out. Man, I shouldn't have wasted my time with the haircut. So, yeah, that's a lot. That's a lot for your team to have to bring into this. Already facing, like what you said, some of the challenges already on the line, and then to have this hanging over your head, definitely has got to be.
How much are they really talking about that in Kansas City? I'd be curious. I mean, just not being in not being in the town where it's actually happened. Sometimes things get, and don't get me wrong, this is a totally, it's a massive deal because it's dealing with pandemic stuff. But in terms of just the craziness of this week and everybody's excitement, is that making people nervous? Is it kind of like, everything's gonna be fine? What do you sense is the feel back there?
Well, the sense of the feel, I think that especially, I mean, if you're talking about both the offensive linemen and the COVID situation, right? Is that what you were?
Yeah, just in terms of the general feel of specifically the COVID piece. It's just kind of like, hey, we got Mahomes and we got guys. It doesn't matter, or is it like, hey, this could be serious? Like we have to really watch this closely.
Yeah, and I think
what's just kind of the feel in Kansas City right now about this game.
Yeah, I think that especially. I mean, if you also did not heard, just to also like to add on to that COVID situation, they were 20 plus players in line, including Mahomes at the time, who was scheduled to get a cut that day from the barber. So just to add on to that, they were actually acting very aggressively. I actually read this on Twitter today, that they actually decided to pull back and pull him out mid-cut because the results of the barber were reported midway through the backup center, who is now on the close contact list, is through his cut. So they put him back. But if you're addressing the question that you were asking, the whole COVID situation, anytime, I mean, so you guys were the only team this year without a single COVID case. So anytime when you have a COVID situation like that, especially when you learn that your all-star and superstar quarterback could have gone on that close contact list, especially at this time, and could have been out for the game. I think that especially when you're missing key pieces, because it builds up throughout the COVID list, and you get guys all of a sudden on the COVID reserve list, it really can like damage a lot to your team. It really can also be a big shock through your fan base, because you know that a lot of guys that you think can easily make a big impact in this game will really not be able to be there, and Mahomes' targets will all of a sudden not be able to be there, like Kelsey and Hill potentially, for example, if that was able to happen. But so yeah, I think that especially addressing the COVID situation, I think that anytime when you ever see that, it does send a shock through your fan base.
Sure.
Yeah. Wow. That is a lot to make you nervous about. So, but at this point, it's very possible that everyone who was exposed or in the close contact list, they could all be available for the game if all the tests go through, right?
Correct.
So that might be a whole lot of worry that may amount to nothing. So, but still, nonetheless, you got to hold your breath a little bit on there. All right, let's go around the horn here, and let's go to Steezy. Steezy, what's your kind of general feel? Just you as a fan, share that side of just kind of what as a fan looking at this game, and then maybe a little bit about what you think is going to be, what kind of game to expect.
Expect a whole lot of fireworks. A lot of the times when you watch a big game, when you watch playoff games, when you watch a Super Bowl, you want to see a whole lot of points being scored. I mean, obviously, defense still is going to play a factor. Both teams have above average defenses, especially at this time. Both defenses are pretty hot. And so I think just, from a fan standpoint or from a fan point of view, it's going to be very entertaining. I mean, a whole lot of points are going to be scored on both sides. Obviously, they both field top 5, top 3 offenses. They both have very, very, very great quarterbacks. And so I guess from a fan point of view, that's what I'm going to expect, a whole lot of points, a whole lot of entertainment. And I think it's going to come down to the line, come down to the wire. Both quarterbacks are clutch. Both coaches are great. So expect a whole lot of that. And I think just kind of from what I expect a whole lot of once again points. And I think from the Buccaneers standpoint, I expect a whole lot of sacks. I mean, as Lewis mentioned, Kansas City Chiefs are operating without not only their 2 starting tackles, but these are some of the best tackles in all of football. Mitchell Schwartz, Eric Fisher. I mean, these guys aren't scrubs. And they're partly one of the reasons. I mean, they're one of the biggest reasons as to why the Chiefs have one of the best offensive lines in all of football. And so now you take both those guys out and you combine that with the fact that the Buccaneers have one of the best pass rushes in all of football, the best run defense in all of football. I think that their biggest weakness, which is their secondary or their pass defense, that's going to be offset just a little bit just because their pass rush is going to be able to get after the quarterback, just because Pat Mahomes isn't going to have as much time in the pocket to look for Tyreek Hill down deep. He's not going to have a whole lot of time to find Travis Kelce down the seams. And so I think the key, my keys for the Buccaneers is, are they able to get pressure with just a 4-man front? Are they going to have to, or are they going to have to blitz and send guys after Pat Mahomes just to get pressure, which I don't think that's going to happen just because of the 2 injuries. And so Pat Mahomes and the Chiefs, I mean, probably going to look to see more screen passes, more quick passes. And they're probably not going to be throwing as deep to start out the game just so they can get a feel for what the Buccaneers are doing with their 2 backup tackles. But I'm just super excited. I mean, whether it was the Packers or the Chiefs, Buccaneers or Chiefs, I mean, there were going to be a whole lot of points scored regardless. So that's kind of how I feel about that from a fan point of view.
Who are you rooting for in this game, man? We know who KC Sportsnerd is rooting for, but how about Steezy? Who are you hoping for to win in this game as a fan? Since I know none of us are really fans of either team in normal cases, who are you hoping will win this game?
I mean, ever since the Seahawks got bounced, I mean, I've been rooting for the Buccaneers. I've been rooting for Tom Brady. And so I'm going to be rooting for them. But I do have a feeling that the Chiefs are going to be able to pull it out, but I wouldn't be surprised if the Bucs were able to pull it out, especially if the 2 injuries on the Chiefs side of things on their offensive line, especially if that really affects them. So I'm rooting for the Buccaneers. I'm rooting for Tom Brady. You know, I want to see him get a title here in Tampa Bay. But if it was in New England, like I said before, I wouldn't be rooting for him. So I'm rooting for the Buccaneers.
Man, that pains me to hear you say that, but we'll talk about that in a second.
I got to say something to Steezy there that I love. I totally love this because, Norb, you remember back in the AARP days where there was music where things would come around and, you know, someone would sell $100 million worth of records, but no one would ever claim that they had that song, right? Or they had that record. Michael Jackson, right? Nobody ever said, oh, I hate Michael, but everybody had his record. And then you fast forward to the Air Jordans, and they came out and some people liked it, but some people like, oh, Nike don't like it. Yet everybody had the Air Jordans. So many people love to hate on Tom Brady and everything else because they don't want to just come out and say, hey, he's great, and I want to root for him and everything. So I love that Steezy said, yeah, I'm rooting for Tampa Bay, and I'm rooting for Brady. Because I think there's a lot of closet Brady fans out there that are afraid to say it in a day and age where as soon as you say anything, you're about to get ripped apart on social media or anything else. So Steezy, I'm proud of you, man. I'm glad you come out and say that you're rooting for a guy and why you're rooting for him, and good for you, man. Even if you're the 1/10% of people that say it. All
right. So on that note, Coach, then, if you're going to start calling people closet Brady fans, what are you in this game? We'll start off with that. Who are you rooting for in this game?
So I'm going to tell you right now, I absolutely don't want Brady to win. No, but
damn right. Because
I've been very public about my affinity for Aaron Rodgers. So I feel like ever since I've joined the NorbCam experience, that I've put myself out there on a limb of taking a beating quite a bit from people. How can you love Aaron Rodgers? Well, because I love the Seahawks, but I'm not the consummate homer that can't appreciate great football when I see it. But that said, there's some personal reasons why I want Kansas City to win, and that's my mentor, and I bring him up every show because I feel like I should. Sherman Smith, his son Dalen McCullough is the running backs coach for the Kansas City Chiefs. So I'm a big fan of his growth and want to see him evolve. So anytime you have any sort of personal connection to the game, that obviously elevates things. But to be honest, I've kind of wondered if I wasn't doing these shows with you guys, would I be as interested in it as I was in years past? And the honest answer is no. In terms of usually the Super Bowl is the Super Bowl and you're just into it. And I just feel like there's kind of it's great. It's Kansas City. It's a great team. And there's great storylines and such. But I don't know that I would be that amped about it like I would in other years. And I'm not saying it's because of the pandemic. To me, there's just not a big time intrigue to this game. Which is why I hope it becomes the typical cliche of I hope it's a close game in the fourth quarter. I hope that it's a battle and it comes down to the end and that a team wins the game versus we're talking about a team that found a way to lose the game. That's really what I'm hoping for. But to put a rooting interest, I'm going to say Kansas City, which I know makes our guests happy. And I also can appreciate a guest who's talking betting lines right out of the chute when he's got to be, 28, 29 years old? Close, probably. So for those reasons, I'm in on Kansas City.
All right. I got to recognize Robert Jimenez in the Super Chat says, any thoughts on the Cam Chancellor article in the Players Tribune on his Super Bowl experience, specifically Super Bowl 49? It's funny that you asked that because I am actually in the process of finishing a video in which I'll actually read that article and share it with you in a video form. So that's going to come out tomorrow. So I'm working on that right now with some little intercuts of some cutaways to kind of enhance that story a little bit. So I will talk about that. But have you guys read that article? Did you guys see it?
Is this going to be like Bing Crosby at Christmas time reading poetry?
Yes.
Poems, with eggnog?
Yeah, with a little fire on the side and a little lazy boy. It kind of is, minus the fireplace, and the cozy, socks on the couch. But yeah, no, it's I did as soon as I heard that the article came out, I did read it, and because he's one of my favorite players of all time, and it's definitely a cool read. Just hearing his thoughts, both the good and the bad, and everything in between. So it's pretty cool. I'm gonna definitely share that with you guys. But it's hard to say that. Every time there's a Super Bowl, it's hard not to feel a little bit of the thrills of having won one and the heartbreak that we experienced the following year. So you kind of go through all the emotions when you start thinking about the Super Bowl. It's just that time of the year, and you think about all the great stuff, and then it takes you back to that fateful day. So.
And don't you think that'll make us appreciate it, though, that much more when we do get back? Because we have experienced that agony of defeat, so to speak?
I think so.
You appreciate it either way, but the fact that we lost that one, I think it's made us more hungry to just get back and just to wipe that feeling out of our mouth.
Well, and that's why I'm going to do a little plug here. I hope you guys will watch my show, my documentary film, NorbCam, The View from a 12, premiering on YouTube this Friday night at 6 o'clock Pacific time. That is all about, you'll get to ride the entire season with me of what it was like to basically start the year off having won the Super Bowl and go through the highs and lows as I'm running my YouTube channel for the first time ever, and also riding this team with the ups and downs. Because it was not like some easy Kansas City season where it was like number one seed from the get-go, and it's like, we'll just kind of coast on into it was not like that. I mean, it was a up, and then it was down, and it was like, we're not making the playoffs, and then get on a roll, and then, of course, all that stuff through the Super Bowl, the playoff miracle and all that stuff. So I invite you guys to come watch that, because you'll get to see why that season was so meant to be the miracle season. It was supposed to be that defining moment of a back-to-back dynasty, the back-to-back team that was supposed to fill in that gap in the early 2010s, and why it's so heartbreaking that we didn't fit that space, which I know, Lewis is hoping to be that team that starts it off in the 2020 decade, because
and beats Brady in the process.
And I mean, it is really almost like destiny that was taken away from us, or however you want to put the blame. But anyway, you'll get to experience all that, and I have game footage, so you'll get to actually watch the footage of the from those games, 16-game season, in a pretty cool way. So check that out on Friday.
I had to say, especially when you were saying about like the up and down of the season, I think that, especially, I say this time and time again, is that a lot of teams, especially like your record, you are what your record says you are. And what I say is that there's a lot of games, especially this year for the Chiefs. It could easily have gone either way. I think I could probably think of more than at least 5 games that easily could have gone one way or another. So like, as much as it was like a roller coaster of a ride and up and down, especially on the injury side as well, we also had to deal with injuries a lot throughout the season. So, I mean, the record does say 14-2. Well, in my opinion, just -1, considering that we rested our guys in week 17. But I think that even though our record does say that, it doesn't. I think there were a lot of games that could have gone either way as well, and also the injuries were also up and down throughout the season. So even though it does say that, there also was some obstacles, I think, throughout the year as well for us.
Yeah, your record wouldn't make it seem like there was much of an obstacle, because you really were a 15-1 team minus the little giveaway at the end. But I know there's always those parts where the season is in doubt at moments and, things like that. And here you are right on the doorstep of the Super Bowl with big concerns now with what's going on your line, plus the whole COVID scare. Ben Ned with a big super chat says, view from a 12, just got my ticket from Fandango. Thanks, Norb. Yes, I love it. Luckily for everybody, you won't have to go to Fandango. You can watch it for free right here on YouTube. So it's going to be cool. This movie, when I first showed it, was actually premiered in the theater here in the Kent Valley area, and we got to have it in a theater. Full packed house with super fans. Norm Johnson, the former kicker, was in the house. Brian Apker was hosting the event. It was awesome. It was a great time, and it's so rare to actually be able to show a video with a live theater and an audience to experience it with. So this will be almost as good. I won't get to be in the room with you guys, but to know that there'll be hopefully thousands of people watching it, it'll be pretty cool. So yeah, check that out. So we got to go around the horn and continue to get comments from our panel. We've got the three, but we got to get the fourth one. We got to get Squabo's take on here on this game, both as an analyst and as a fan. What do you hope to see in Super Bowl 55? Squabo.
I'm gonna quote Steezy when I say I want to see fireworks. I want to see both teams going at it. There is a lot on the line in this game. This is not your typical Super Bowl. This is GOAT versus future GOAT. This is the guy that everyone understands and acknowledges is the best quarterback and best player, or at least in the quarterback position in NFL history, the most impactful player in NFL history, in Tom Brady, going up against a guy who is off to the best start of a career in NFL history at the quarterback position in Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes is setting records that Tom Brady didn't set. So he's coming in with a whole lot of momentum, and he's playing a 43-year-old Tom Brady who should not still be playing quarterback at this age, but he found a way similar to LeBron in the NBA. And it's very impressive what Tom Brady is able to do. But this game, there's a lot of stakes on the line. If Kansas City wins this game, what that means for Patrick Mahomes is, like you guys said, they become the first team in the last 2 decades to win 2 back-to-back Super Bowls. They become one of the best teams all time, one of few teams all time that have won back-to-back Super Bowls in NFL history. And they get one step closer, having, as you said, Lewis, knocked out Tom Brady to win that Super Bowl, the GOAT as it currently stands. So if Kansas City is able to add a Super Bowl against Tom Brady with this loaded roster in Tampa Bay, in their home field, what a remarkable story that would be for the Kansas City Chiefs. But if Tom Brady is able to win this game for Tampa Bay on his wheelchair in the pocket at age 43 against who's supposed to be the future GOAT, against a team that just blew out the Buffalo Bills, who are the hottest team in the NFL, arguably, for the last 8 weeks of the regular season and heading into the playoffs. So Kansas City is really hot. Tampa Bay, they're playing team football. This is one of those games where Kansas City is a heavy favorite. 80% of the people putting down money on this game are putting it down on Kansas City in this game. The line is moving. This is going to be a great game. There's going to be fireworks. There's money on the line. There are legacies on the line. This means a lot to both sidelines. It's going to be phenomenal, and I can't wait to watch.
And great breakdown. I love it. And did you in there put down your own personal opinion about who your heart of hearts is rooting for? I don't think I caught that.
I did not.
Are you going to?
I got you. Yeah, no, of course. In this game, I look at Kansas City, or let's look at Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay is a franchise, haven't won a Super Bowl in a very long time. I could support them winning a Super Bowl. That's why I rooted for Kansas City last year. They're a team that hadn't won a Super Bowl in a very long time, and I rooted for them. And they ended up being, of course, they were going up against the 49ers. But regardless, I'd rather see a team win it for the first time rather than 2 times in a row, especially because of what you guys were just talking about with Super Bowl 49 and how we didn't get done 2 in a row. Tom Brady's already the GOAT. He's already established as the best quarterback of all time. What's one more Super Bowl for him? It's a storybook ending if he does want to retire, but a lot of people think that that's very unlikely. So I say give it to Tom. I'm rooting for Tom Brady. I'm rooting for Tampa Bay against Kansas City because this game, yes, if you polled every NFL fan across the NFL for the past year or so, who's better, Kansas City right now or the Seahawks in 2013, the majority of people are going to say Kansas City right now because of the play of Patrick Mahomes compared to Russell Wilson. But until they win that second Super Bowl in a row, until they win that second Super Bowl, they are still tied with our Seahawks of 2013 in terms of how many Super Bowls they've won. And if they lose the Super Bowl, we could see a similar effect that happened to our Seahawks back in 2014. What if Kansas City starts to derail as they start to have to actually pay Patrick Mahomes some real money? You never know what's going to happen, and that's what I'm rooting for. Either way, Tom Brady or Kansas City has to lose, and that makes me happy. Either way, I'm going to be a winner. I'm watching great football. But if I got to choose who I wanted to win, I would rather let Tom Brady stay established as the GOAT and knock Patrick Mahomes back a little bit, and let's see what happens when he gets hit in the face.
So, hey, Norb, I got to jump in here because I am starting to figure out who Squabbo is. All right. And Squabbo is the guy. And I preface this with, man, I love you, buddy. I think you're great. You know, I'm going to take care of you and Steezy and everybody, you know, for the rest of your lives. But Squabbo's the guy that goes down to Las Vegas and he goes into Caesar's Palace and he chunks down $10,000 on Kansas City. And he tells the buddies that are with him, look at my ticket on Kansas City. But then he goes down to the Maraj and he chunks $10,000 on Tampa Bay and he shows another group of friends, look what I got there. And then he has a third group of friends that he doesn't show anything to, and they're the people he's going to hang out with later that night when the game's over, and he's going to show them the $10,000 ticket that he has on the winner, not sharing that he lost juice plus the $10,000 on the loser. But that's what I love about him, is that he can spread both sides and talk about both angles, and you don't really know which way he's going, you know, because he breaks down with such great insight. But I do have to say, Squab, you know what the number 5 represents? I won't even let you come up with an answer. It's the first number in Brady's age before he retires. The reason people stop doing anything is for one reason. It's because people tell them that they can't do it anymore. That's when they stop doing it. It's why people stop thinking they can go to the moon, because they do it. It's why, you know, we all stop doing things. But now we're in this day and age where people are starting to believe and they can do things. And I tell you what, with Tom Brady, the thing that makes me the most nervous about a guy at his age, who's played as much as he has and with the experience he's had. Now, I'm not talking to Squabble so much. I'm talking to everybody in general, is a guy who has 2 weeks to prepare. And they used to say that about the greats, where like you just don't want to give him that extra time to prepare. So a guy like Tom Brady, who can get his body, you know, just fine, get it perfect the way he wants it, and then he's got 2 weeks to break things down. You know, he's not out there playing defense, which is why I always kind of go against the quarterback versus quarterback thing, because, you know, they're not defending each other. They just both have to step up and play great games for their teams. But I think it's going to be more, you know, can Brady, how does he break down Kansas City's defense compared to how well Mahomes breaks down the other defense? Because I think Tom Brady, his weight and magnitude to their team and what he needs to do is so much greater than what Mahomes needs to do, even though Mahomes is a great athlete and he makes it work. Tom Brady's the guy that can make, you know, he's the difference maker I see in this game, without a doubt.
All right, I got to say something here. I got something to say. But first, I got to address the super chat. The chats are piling up here. So we got Chef Jack Attack, our young chef from the East Coast, says, I can't believe I'm saying this, but go Tom Brady. And then we got Dieter McBusiness, who I have brought in here. He has been a Patriots fan for a long time. He's still a Brady fan. He's chiming in here with the super chat. Says, baby goat, this is to you, Squabble. Baby goat versus real goat is stupid. But if Mahomes loses, he'll have to win 8 total to eclipse Brady. He writes it a little bit differently. But Seahawks fans pulling for Brady? Probably not. I'm going to talk about that in a second. And then Chef Jack comes back again. Tampa Bay is home. Come on, they're not going to lose. All right, so...
Does Super Bowls really make you a GOAT? And normally you say what you need to say, but I want to come back to that. Like, does winning Super Bowls, is that what it's going to take for someone to eclipse somebody else?
Oh, you mean as far as when you have the number of Super Bowls won?
Because if you do that, if people always argue in basketball, if that's the case, then Robert Horry is really the greatest modern day player ever because of all the championships he has. Same with Super Bowl. I mean, how many rings does someone have to get? If Mahomes never won another ring, but played at the level he did for the next 15 years, hard to say that he wouldn't become the greatest of all time. Dan Marino, one of the greatest of all time. You know, so what do you have to do to win that? Yes, Brady has won it, but pound for pound, how they play as a quarterback, Brady's not a top 10 quarterback of all time as a specific hardcore player. But in terms of a winner and an organizational guy, yeah, he is the greatest of all time. But I'd still argue that there's others that are better quarterbacks that you'd have around.
Yeah. Well,
Coach, I don't know if there's 10 or I don't know if there's 9 better than Tom Brady, though. Even if you take away all the Super Bowls, talent for talent, I mean, he still has, 3 MVPs. He's one of, a few players who has a 5,000-yard season. He has a 50-touchdown season. There's a whole lot of Pro Bowls, all pros. And so it's not even just the Super Bowls that makes him the GOAT, in my opinion. It's all the other things.
Oh, to me, the number one thing he does is he's relinquished salary to surround himself with great players. I mean, now he does, doesn't have to do it so much, but in the early years, there's been at least 3 times I know of that he deferred salary, adjusted salary, went back and renegotiated contracts to get better balance around him, because he is the consummate winner from a standpoint of he will do anything it takes to win, even if it means taking a little bit less. And if we're going apples to apples here with him and Russ, they both have the same type of, wife who can make money and family and all that other stuff. So one wants to keep money and wants to have a better offensive line and have say. Well, then show us that you want to do something different to make that happen. Brady's proven it. That to me is the difference between Brady and everybody else.
So I'm gonna weigh in on this here. So where do I begin? First of all, I can't believe this panel is actually split 2 and 2. 2 people rooting for the Chiefs and 2 people rooting for Tom Brady. Because let me see. How do I want to break this down? I don't want to sound like a complete homer.
I don't understand. Like, how can you root for Brady?
Okay, let me just say so I don't sound too much like a ridiculous homer. But I will say this much: in my mind, Tom Brady is the GOAT. He is the greatest of all time, because you have to look at the body of work, you have to look at the number of rings, and what he did to accomplish those things. He had to make those plays. To make that comeback in Super Bowl 51, that was the game where I said, he's the GOAT, man. I mean, if he's not playing that game as any other quarterback, that comeback does not happen. That's not one of those things. The defense won it for him. No, he had to make every single play, granted with the people around him, but he had to make those throws. I give him that, okay? So I'm already saying that right now, as of right now, greatest of all time. That said, how can you call yourselves a Seahawks fan and root for Tom Brady? I don't understand that. Do you guys forget? Have you guys forgotten? That's why you got to watch my freaking show, 2014 Seahawks. Remember what it felt like? I was in that stupid building. I saw the play happen, and then I had to watch Tom Brady like a little kid going, after that happened, and all the little things. And when the game wasn't even over, and he had to do his little, this little hard count, make us a jump. When I still had a shred of hope that, hey, maybe we get a safety, get the ball back, and still win this game. I couldn't hate anybody more than Tom Brady, anything Patriots, anything about that time period. Now, I understand Tom Brady is no longer a New England Patriot, the team that beat us, but he's still the quarterback of the team that led to the worst moment of my life as a football fan. Okay? And so pretty much anybody on that team is going to represent that team that caused me the worst moment of my life. So there's never going to be a time that I will root for those players, that team to succeed as long as I live, because they're responsible for that. And that's a personal thing for me. That is a personal pain that I always have will always have to live with. I can give the respect. Hold on a second. I can give the respect to Tom Brady. Okay, I will give him that. Like I said, I gave him the GOAT. I admitted to that. But that doesn't mean I have to like him. That doesn't mean I have to root for him. I will respect him, but I don't have to root for him. And if I'm going to root for a neutral situation team, why would I root for him to win one more? It was just like what happened. I know, Coach Bill, you're a huge Aaron Rodgers fan. Well, he's been a pain in my butt, too, in a lot of these playoff games. So I was happy. I was actually rooting for Tampa Bay to beat them, not because I want Tom Brady to win, because in my grand scheme of things, I wanted everybody in the NFC to lose. I wanted the Packers to have heartbreak at home. I got it. Now I want the Bucs to lose, heartbreak at home. Best way he could lose, throw an interception at the 1-yard line. That would be the poetic end to this season. That would make me so happy, because I could care less if Kansas City wins another game, another Super Bowl.
Throw an interception at the 1-yard line because he has organizational authority. Tom Brady is the greatest organization in the history of sports. Not the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, not the New England Patriots, not the New York Yankees. Tom Brady, he is the best organization in the history of sports. So when he gets down to the 1-yard line, you know what he's going to do? He's going to hand the football to Marshawn Lynch. or he's going to check out of the play that was called, or he's going to get us out of something, or he's going to do something else so that Norb is not sitting there in the middle of the stadium with a camera on himself going, I hope I'm on YouTube in 5 years sharing a story because it's the worst feeling ever. And I'm going to hate a guy because he beat me, right? Like, I get what you're saying, Norb, but to hate a guy because he's beautiful, right? That's kind of what we're saying. Like, I hate you because you're so great. Man, that is a tough one. How can we do that? The guy is unbelievable because he would make the decisions that we wish our guy could have made. And
like I said, I respect it, but that doesn't mean I have to root for him.
No,
why should I root? Am I obligated just because someone's good and because I have to respect that they're good? Do I have to root for them? No, I'm not going to root for the guy. I'm going to root for the guy to lose because I don't want to see it. I don't want to see him at the end of the day going.
Peyton Manning.
You know, I don't need to see that picture. I'm sick of that movie. I want a different movie. And we had this movie last year.
Peyton Manning be successful for all his life. That's literally the other analogy I'm thinking of here. It's like seeing Peyton Manning rule your division for basically years at a time, competing with him for years at a time. And when he actually won his Super Bowl. And
he's actually, of all the Mannings though, I will root for Peyton Manning before I would root for Eli Manning. Eli Manning is.
Yeah, we can separate that one for another piece. But the Peyton Manning one though is great though because I was not a fan of Peyton Manning until I started watching Peyton Places, which is I think is one of the greatest shows that's ever been created because the guy is I think he's funny as heck. But if that snap doesn't go behind him on the very first snap, who knows how that Super Bowl plays out, right? Like I still think we handle him, we take care of him, and anything else. But what if that was to take place this Sunday to kind of bring things back to the Super Bowl, right? What if all of a sudden Mahomes first snap goes over? Same thing with Brady, first snap, where it's not really Mahomes or Brady that causes the issue, but something takes place and the rails fall off and now we get a blowout. What do you guys think that does to either one of these guys' kind of legacy, right? Because you get a blowout type of thing, there can be a legacy crusher that takes. Look what happened to Russ. If we win, he throws that and we complete it, or we give it to Marshawn, legacy set. But now there's still question. He'll still be a Hall of Famer. He's still great. Seattle loves him. Most opponents outside, though, are looking at him a little bit differently. Would it affect things if there was a blowout either direction this weekend for the quarterback? I'm just talking about for either of those quarterbacks and their legacies.
If Mahomes gets blown out, there will be a lot of backlash because this is 43-year-old Tom Brady, AARP Tom Brady, wheelchair in the pocket Tom Brady playing quarterback for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And if he would become phony goat at that point, not baby goat. Right now he's baby goat. I saw someone in the super chat. You can shout him out in a minute, but they were brilliant. They said this is the most talented versus the greatest of all time. And
yeah, that's Dieter McBusiness, and he was the one who said about the whole baby goat versus the actual goat. Yeah, greatest versus most talented. He says I'll take the greatest. Yes, the forever Tom Brady fan speaking out there.
Beautiful.
Yes. Continue. Sorry.
But so yeah, no, that's a beautiful thing. And about what you guys were talking about, Coach Marsh, I can respect the fact that you have connections to the Kansas City Chiefs. And if I were you, if I were in your shoes, I too would be rooting for the Kansas City Chiefs. I respect that decision. I appreciate that. I also can appreciate the fact that you appreciate great football. And that's really what Tom Brady is, the organizational fortitude that he brings wherever he goes.
I didn't say who I thought would win, Squabbo. I said who I'm rooting for. Big difference.
But hold on. But check me out here. The reason that we should root for Tom Brady in Tampa Bay to be successful this week is because, yes, Tom Brady was successful, but Tom Brady was great. The people that I resent most are those New England fans that are just so privileged, never had to grow up seeing their team lose a division or getting knocked out in the wild card round or missing the playoffs and going under 500 on their season record. Those fans are the ones that have been privileged and have been so fortunate throughout their entire career. They've never had to go through the pains they've had to go through.
Yeah, but they're going through that. They're going through that pain.
Hold on, let me finish. They had the Super Bowls on their side. They had the GOAT on their side. What do you guys think hurts the New England Patriots fans more this Sunday? Kansas City winning the Super Bowl and Tom Brady getting eliminated, or seeing their girl go get a ring from another man? Anyone that's been broken up with, that's been cheated on, that's been in a relationship knows that seeing your girl be with another man could be some of the most painful things you've ever seen in your life. That's what I want New England to go through because of their 20 years of privilege.
Man, once you start living life like Norb and I have, and you experience the true pains of love and all those things that I'll talk about on another video, how to deal with relationships and those type of things. Here's the thing. If you're in New England, you're looking at that going, man, what an awesome opportunity I had there. And I blew it. I let that girl go. So I can't be upset that she's going to go and have a great marriage with somebody else and enjoy her life with somebody else because I blew it. You're spinning it like he did something, he messed up, he went. That's not how it plays out. So I think people in New England are actually wanting him to win, wanting him to do well, and they're going to be excited for the mass majority.
Well, they'll think Belichick did him wrong.
He brought them all to Super Bowl. If Russell Wilson left, look at when Ken Griffey Jr. left Seattle. If Ken Griffey Jr. would have won a ring, people would have been initially a little upset because, he should have done it here, and he left under some awful terms. But deep down, the guy deserves a ring. He should have won it, what have you. Now, does Tom Brady necessarily deserve it? No, maybe not. But, the New England, they still have to face Boston Red Sox and Boston Celtics stuff where it's always awful thing. Oh, no, they don't. Boston has great things all the way around. So they're going to be just fine. They're going to be rooting for them. I think they're rooting for Tom Brady. I think they're rooting for him all the way through.
I want to hear from Steezy. Steezy's so polite over there. He doesn't jump in and interrupt people like we all do.
You're relatively quiet too.
But I want to recognize. So Chef Jack Attack again says go Brady, and then he follows up with Seahawks lost that Super Bowl. Pats won that game. If that's supposed to be justification why I should now root for Tom Brady because we quote lost that game, no.
No,
sorry. I still have to burn in that image of his face, of Tom Brady's face, cheering up and down like a little kid. That doesn't change anything for me. Yeah, of course I have plenty of blame to put on our team for how that went down, but that doesn't remove my anger and hate for that which caused me so much pain. Call me crazy or not, call me delusional or irrational or whatever, but that's just how I feel. And I've been reading a lot of stuff, re-editing this show, so I had to relive the 2014 season again, making the show ready for Friday. I read the Cam Chancellor article, so I'm fresh. The pain is freshly brought back out of my soul when it was still buried down in here. It's all back up here again, so I've had to sort of relive the pain from 6 years ago, and I guess I'm not really over it, even though I keep telling myself I am over it. I'm not really over it. I guess I'll never really be over it in all reality. And you're only over it when you bury it deep. That's all you can do.
And I need to say that if you're literally just saying though that the Pats won that game, I'll say it from this perspective. If you just respond to Chef Jack here, if you give the ball to Marshawn at that 1 yard line there, I mean, odds are you get in there. Now you can make a debate there that with the time remaining on the clock, Brady goes down the field, he actually scores and actually wins the game for him in that situation. But the bottom line is that and you talk about this now, especially on the shows, especially during the season, and your backs are against the wall. And when you know that and your backs are against the wall and you have to make a stop, then it could put a lot more pressure, I think, on the offensive side of the ball. Like it could put more pressure on Brady. It could also give some momentum to the defense. And I think that especially in that situation, when you know that your back is against the wall and you have to make a stop to win the Super Bowl, it could be very pressuring. So even though you can say that they did win that Super Bowl because they made that play at the 1 yard line, it could very easily would have gone either way, in my opinion.
They made the play at the 1 yard line, and the play at the 1 yard line was the hard count. If you want to get upset at somebody, get upset at our D-line for jumping at what everybody in America knew they were going to do to get off the 1 yard line.
They wouldn't even had to done the hard count because they could have gone in with Marshawn at that time. So
I'm talking about when New England got the ball back. I want to convert it to the Super Bowl, but you called on Steezy and he got ready to talk, and then he got about 0.3 seconds with
yeah, Steezy's got to come in here. Just to put a clamp on that, though, if Marshawn goes in with 30 or less seconds in, we're winning that game. Tom Brady maybe gets a field goal if they're lucky, but no, we win that game. I'm convinced. All right, Steezy, you've been quiet. I want to hear your opinion on all these hot takes.
Yeah, no, I just wanted to answer your question because you initially asked, as a Seahawks fan, how can we root for Tom Brady? I mean, I guess you guys have kind of already gone into it, but for me, it's just because I feel like, we were the ones who lost that game. And if not that, then Malcolm Butler was the one who won the game for us. And so, yeah, I get it. Tom Brady's over there celebrating. He's wilding. He's cheering like a kid. But I mean, because, his teammate made a great play. And so I'm not even going to knock the man for that. I can't hate the man for doing that because, obviously his team came out and emerged victorious. But for me, if Tom Brady was to lead his team to a game-winning drive, if they would have won the game, off a 1 yard touchdown pass, via Tom Brady, then I'd be looking at Tom Brady differently. And then I wouldn't be able to root for Tom Brady in this game. But because that's not what happened, because it was Russell Wilson who threw a pick, because it was Pete Carroll who said it was okay to throw a 1 yard pass to the 1 yard line, even though Marshawn Lynch was just cooking prior to that, because it was Malcolm Butler who came through with the interception, because it was Ricardo Lockett who failed to catch the football. I mean, there are a whole lot of other people to go around to blame rather than Tom Brady. I know he made a whole lot of great plays. I know he was the one behind the comeback that they made. I mean, they were down 10 going into the fourth quarter, and he was the one that engineered that comeback. But at the end of the day, I mean, it wasn't him that directly lost that game for us. It was Malcolm Butler, or it was Pete Carroll, or it was Darrell Bevell, or it was Ricardo Lockett, or it was Russell Wilson, or it was this person or that person. And so that's why I could root for Tom Brady in this game. And I agree with everything that Squab said as well. I mean, with the New England Patriots, it's just the organization. It's the fans. It's not necessarily Tom Brady himself. And so that's kind of where I stand on that.
Well, and don't you think that a lot of what we do is we look at, our guy, and we try to compare our guys to the greats that are out there as well. But, and again, I try not to pick on Russ too much. But you go back to the Green Bay game, and it's, 4 interceptions that were just absolutely ugly interceptions. And then we make the great comeback and all those things. And I could name 3 other games where it's just awful play, whether it's Russ or somebody else. And then that's what makes play. Brady doesn't put you in that type of position. Yeah, he threw a pick 6 in that comeback Super Bowl, but he knows how to keep his game close. And he's a 6th round draft pick. He's a guy that overcame, and people want to hang everything on Deflategate. And maybe there was a cheating thing that took place in during a practice against St. Louis in the first Super Bowl. I mean, stuff that you just can't hang your hat on. But if we come back to this Super Bowl again, the question where I talked about at the beginning, first snap, how about the end? If the ball's at the 1 yard line, Mahomes is at about the same age range and career range that Wilson was at the time that play comes in. Does Mahomes stick with the play, or does he change it? Again, if the game's on the line this weekend, the game's on the line, you know what Brady's going to do because Aaron's gives him the offense now. Aaron's figured it out. Let Tom Brady cook, as they like to say around here.
No, if they're at the 1 yard line, you know what they're going to do.
At the 1 yard line.
Mahomes is going to shuffle pass it to Travis Kelce, and he's going to run it into the middle because they do creative stuff like that. I don't think either of these teams do that.
Exactly, but that's my point. If the I formation, the I formation came in and they just wanted to run a fullback dive, they got into jumbo package, 3 tight ends, I formation, and they're just basically going to run the football like something that's unorthodox. Does Patrick Mahomes change that play, or does he stick with it? My answer, I think, is yes. I think that he has enough know-it-all and stick with it and change things and do what have you to do that. That's the difference between their organization, and if we're going to revert back a little bit, what we couldn't do and Russ hasn't done and didn't do then. We did something that was unorthodox for what was going on in the game. Our running back was doing well, all these other things. So again, I'm going to throw the question out there. Brady, we know that's going to happen. But if it's down to the wire and a play comes in and Mahomes doesn't like it and it's unorthodox, does Mahomes change it or stick with it? Because Russ had to know. Everybody knew in that huddle. They've admitted it. When the play came in and it was a pass, they looked at Marshawn. Russ called the play. He knew that there was just so much on the line on that. What do you think? Does he change it or not? In his 3rd year in the league? I mean, Russ was 2nd year in the league?
Well, it's a different style of play.
It's 3rd year. Yeah, you're right. 3rd year.
It's a completely different style of play with Kansas City. They don't have the option to give it to beast mode on the 1 yard line. That's the difference. So anything else is a lot more reasonable and realistic in that offense because they also have more talent on the outside than Seattle had in that Super Bowl. Seattle had a different identity heading into the game.
Squab, I think you're missing my question. Hold on. Let me repeat it. If Kansas City gets in there and you know that their stuff is spread and sprint out and shuffle it out and do all this underneath stuff, and if the play came in and it was just a straight dive, and you know that Tampa Bay's got Vita Vea and all these other guys stacked in the middle and their great linebacker core, and they're all right there. And at the 1 yard line, the play that comes in is just a bunch tight formation with tight ends and a running back. And Andy Reid says, you know what? We're just going to go big on big, and we're going to plow right over our center. And you're a center. That's why I'm kind of staring at you, which is unorthodox. It's different than what they do. Their thing is to spread and move and do all those other things.
But ironically, that's what Seattle did. New England lined up in a goal line formation. Seattle comes out with 2 receivers to the right, 1 to the left. It's not an even match situation. So you've got a goal line D against a offensive set where you really can't run because it's a mismatch. And I guess that's what you're saying. If you see this situation where it's not out of the chute, looks like it's going to work, would Mahomes switch out of it? Is that what you're trying to say, Coach Marsh? Are you trying to say that Mahomes would make a smarter decision than Russell?
That's exactly what I'm saying. Would Mahomes make the change? I would have expected Russell Wilson to recognize, not so much that regardless of what the defense is, hey, you know what? I don't care what play is coming in. I'm waving it off, and Marshawn, I'm handing you the football. This is our bread and butter. Our bread and butter is to hand Marshawn we're going to spread it out, get the formation, and I'm going to check to you, Marshawn, and we're going to run it one more time with you. Does Mahomes do the same thing when he gets the I formation 30 dive straight up the middle when they've been doing something else all game long and it's been working, and they got one, maybe two plays left?
I think he changes it. I think
so too.
I'm going to be judge here. I'm going to say overruled. What's the term they say when they're assuming something of what the defense is arguing here? we're
cause for objectivity or something.
I forgot what the term is when they assume that certain things. Objection, overruled because.
Cause for speculation.
We're speculation. We're speculating what Mahomes is going to do, and nobody here knows what Mahomes is going to do. We'll see what Mahomes is going to do tomorrow. So we'll find out how it goes. But it's interesting, though, you mentioned the parallel between what Russell Wilson is, where he was at Super Bowl 49 and where Patrick Mahomes is right now. I think they are very much in a similar situation. Almost the same number of years in to the league. Is that right? They were both 3 years in, right? Wilson was third year when he was 12, 13, 14. Patrick Mahomes, third season. And welcome to the show,
this is technically
Seahawks
Martin.
Martin.
Season, though, right?
Yeah, this is third year as a starter.
But yeah, he did start. Yeah, he did start. So technically, as a starter, they're both 3 years in. Back-to-back opportunity. Also on the fringe of, like you said, I think Squab was saying how he was going to get paid. I mean, he's already going to get paid, but he's really the financial payment burden on the team is going to start kicking in the next several years, just like it did after Super Bowl 49 when they had to start making tough choices. And so this is a big turning point for him.
Remember, we talked about it. What Russell made during those two Super Bowls: $500,000+ and $600,000+.
Right.
In those two Super Bowls he played, and Matt Hasselbeck made $2 million in the Super Bowl that he played in. Because we distributed it elsewhere, so it'll be interesting.
So Seahawks Martin, welcome to the show, man. How you doing, buddy?
Doing good. Just
nice to see you, man.
It's a toughie.
All right, so we went around the horn since you're late to the party, but better late than never. What's your take on the game? We haven't done scores yet, but what are you expecting to see out of this game? And then at the end of that, who are you rooting for in this game?
Honestly, it's going to be a really good matchup. We got two really great offense, one led by the greatest of all time, the other led by the next person who will be the greatest of all time. Fortunately, it skipped past Russell Wilson, so I'm a little salty about that. But it's going to be a hard-nosed battle. I feel like it's going to be high-scoring, considering both offenses are pretty darn explosive. And then again, their defenses are also really good, especially the Bucs, led by Vita Vea, who is always up in that line, wreaking havoc. So it's going to be a great matchup. It's going to be hard-nosed. It's going to be back and forth. I see both teams probably scoring somewhere in the 20s and 30s, something like that. It's going to be a great matchup. But, of course, it all comes down to the QB matchup. You got Tom Brady versus Patrick Mahomes. Going to be a great matchup, but honestly, I feel like the Bucs might have the edge here, because they have Tom Brady. Tom Brady's the most clutch. He's always clutch. You always expect him to pull through at the biggest moments. And I get that the Chiefs did beat the Bucs last time they played at Raymond James Stadium, but I feel like if this is a Super Bowl, the Bucs will probably know everything to fix. They'll probably contain Tyreek Hill, which I'm pretty sure when I say contain, it means they're going to keep him under 200 yards. And I feel like the Bucs might pull this out because they have Tom Brady who will clutch it up for them.
So, who are you rooting for, though? Who do you want to win?
Well, my parents are big Brady fans because, I hate Brady. but I feel like the Bucks are. I'm rooting for the Bucks here. Sorry, Sportsnerd.
Wait. In one breath, you said you hate Brady, but you're rooting for the Bucks. Did I just hear that correctly?
I feel bad for every other Bucks player except Brady.
Makes no sense.
I just feel bad for everyone except Brady.
Oh my god.
So
I don't feel bad for AB.
Hey, you know what, Seahawks Martin? I think you bring up an awesome point there, man.
No, he doesn't.
Like, seriously, you bring up
he's the encyclopedia, but I think you got your pages all screwed up today.
And want a bunch of other players on the team to do well or what have you. I think stay with that point. I think it's a great point.
No, don't listen to your parents.
No, yeah.
You're listening to your parents too much. Do not root for Brady and the Buccaneers for crying out loud.
My parents love Brady. I don't love Brady. Honestly, I've hated him ever since he beat us in the Super Bowl and Deflategate and everything. It's just that I feel bad for a lot of Bucs players that they haven't had their chance. And then I'm very tired of the Chiefs winning, and I hate their bandwagons. And I mean, yeah, I get it. I'm a lot of bandwagons too, but the Chiefs I just feel like the Chiefs have more. And then I don't want them to go back to back because that's just gonna hurt me because we could have had our chance to go back to back. And if the Chiefs go back to back and and get 2 rings, it's just gonna hurt realizing that we could have also had 2 rings. So,
Lewis, are you? Did I hear right? It was Martin calling you a bandwagon. Lewis, are you bandwagon Chiefs fan? Did I hear that?
I'm not calling Lewis a bandwagon. I know for sure that he's not a bandwagon. I'm talking about everyone else.
Yeah, I'm about to get worried right there if you just did, because then it got pretty personal right there. But anyway, I will say this to you. First of all, I don't know if it's just me, but your logic makes no sense. That's I'm not sure.
It's not just you.
Okay.
Y'all boys about to get in a fight at reset.
Stay with it, Seahawks Martin. Stay with it.
Let me say this real quick. So you hate Tom Brady, and then you're saying to me because of every other player on the Bucs roster right now, you're going to root for them because you want them to win the Super Bowl. When you see at that quarterback position, the most important player on the field, a guy that's already won 6 and has the most of any player in NFL history, because you want every single other player on that roster to win a Super Bowl because they've never won one?
Well, yeah, the Chiefs have already won one, and I'm tired, and I'm low-key pissed about the fact that the title of the GOAT went from Tom Brady, and it's about to skip Russell Wilson down to Patrick Mahomes. I'm a little pissed on that.
Thank you, Martin. Martin.
And it's good call, man, because I agree. We crown people way too quick nowadays. Like you barely have to do anything.
I never gave Mahomes the GOAT status. I don't remember voting on the GOAT status for Mahomes. I never gave him the GOAT status. Now, if he wins this game, I'll start thinking about it.
Unfortunately, one vote isn't gonna go over like what 100,000 people who already think he's the GOAT. So, unfortunately.
Right now, he has the same number of rings as Russell Wilson. So until he goes past that, then I'll start thinking about, that word that we were floating around so carefully around in that Super Bowl 49, thinking about the words dynasty and GOAT and things like that. One game can change all that, but it all depends on how it goes.
That's not amazing. It's actually kind of simplicity that because the quarterback is such an important position. I mean, here we are talking about, the same 2 players for the better part of however long we've been on the show, and it's what everybody's talking about all week. When the magnitude of team game is no more than it is in football. And of course I'm going to say that as a biased coach in the game and such, but in no sport is the team so commensurate with how the outcome's going to play out, right? That's why you have MVPs of Super Bowls that you don't even see the following year, including guys that we had as our own MVP of Super Bowls that kind of disappear really quickly. And that's why when people talk about Russ's interception, there's times where I wish that they would say, you know what? It was really the receiver's lack of catching the ball, the receiver's lack of circling up. And, I'm not going to say his name, but, I look at these things. Russ had 4 interceptions this year that were right through the receiver's hands that they should have caught. But because we put all the onus on the quarterback, they get the credit, they get the blame. But, we got to look at this more from like a team standpoint. That's why I like Seahawks Martin's comment because, there's been people I couldn't stand. I couldn't stand Bill Romanowski. I couldn't stand other guys, but I still might want their team to win. There have been guys on our own teams that I couldn't stand, but I still would want us to win regardless. So Seahawks Martin, man, I love that you came and brought some fire. You brought some spark and you lit it too. So keep it up.
Thanks. it's not beef with Sportsnerd. We get along very well. It's just I'm trying to make my point.
Yeah, and one thing I just want to say though is that as much as it is, I had to say that I think that I understand where you're coming from, but the problem with your point is that in my opinion, when you have a quarterback that is the leader of the team, the guy that they rely on to make plays down the stretch, and it's a guy that's done it, in my opinion, basically I can count this basically off my fingers right now because I'm just tired of this guy doing this. So I just don't think that, in my opinion, I would just say that when you have a quarterback of that aspect who's done it multiple and many, many, many times, as many other of the greatest have already done, I just don't see it flying past my boat. That's all I was going to say there.
Yeah, your opinion, my opinion, it's just different opinions. We'll respect each other on that.
All right, so I do want to get to score predictions from you guys. I'm just going to add this one last little bit because I can. So when it comes to, people ask me all the time, so who's your second favorite team, Norb? I'm like, I don't have a second favorite team. I don't even know how people can say they have a second favorite team, because then sometimes your favorite team and your second favorite team end up playing each other, and then how does your brain even reconcile that? I don't. I have one team, and the only team I'm rooting for is the team that can help my team do better. So if this team can knock somebody else down that we need to get past, well, that's the team I'm rooting for this week. And then the next week after that, I'm back to hating them again. So that's how it is. Super Bowl 40, I hate the Steelers. And I always will hate the Steelers. That's why I laughed my butt off when the ball went over the head of Roethlisberger in that playoff game. Not because I like Cleveland per se, but because I want anything to see those teams that I can't stand because they cause me so much pain go down.
I think that
it's always going to be like that.
Pittsburgh, except my friend, who I love to trash on every time the Steelers lose. But yeah.
Yeah, anyway. I always think it's a funny question because you can really only root for your team. I mean, Norb, you do have a second favorite team, or you did for a while, and it's right back here. I mean, that was your second favorite team for a long time.
Yeah, well,
but they didn't have
you can have other favorite teams in other divisions. They can have a favorite college team, a favorite pro team, a favorite high school team.
Another second NFL team, I just don't know that you can. I mean, you can only have your team that you root for. I don't know you can have like a second and a third. I mean, that's where Bandwagon comes from.
See, and that's why. See, here's the thing. So a lot of people are asking me, so in the offseason, Norb, you gonna start doing NBA? I'm like, I checked out of the NBA as soon as the Sonics got stolen from us, and since then, it's just like I lost interest.
Back, I think, right?
There's talk about that there might be a Sonics comeback.
We coming.
We're as close as we've been in the conversation, but it hasn't happened yet.
Here was a rumor though.
So people ask me, well, so if you do NBA, who would you follow? I'm like, I only have rooted for the Sonics, but in the 70s when Bob Blackburn was the voice of the Sonics and we won the championship. I was in elementary school. I remember us winning we beat the Washington Bullets to bring the championship trophy for a parade in Seattle. Lenny Wilkins and Fred Brown, Dennis Johnson, all those guys. I remember that, and I had like scrapbook of the Sonics and all that. So they were as much my team first than anything else. And when they were taken from me, it was like a part of my soul was taken out of this city. And I hated the NBA because of that. I hated David Stern. I hated everything about what the NBA did to me, and I turned my back on the NBA. So people then ask me, so when you start doing NBA, what team would you follow? I was like, I would have to force myself to. I even thought about it. Hey, maybe for a channel, I should start doing the NBA. I'm trying to think, who would I root for? I don't know. Just pick a team out of the blue. I have no passionate affiliation with anybody. I can't even fake myself into trying to root for a team when it isn't bred from inside me. You know what I mean? That's why I don't understand people just go, you know what? I decided I'm going to be a Seahawks fan. I'm going to be a Patriots fan now. It's like, how do you just become one, right? I mean, everything, all my fandom came out of being a kid.
Is that why you started doing Madden? Did you start doing Madden so you could see if maybe a second team would come up inside you? Like, okay, I got to figure out who's my second favorite team, so I'll start doing Madden and maybe I'll
look, when I play Madden, I only play the Seahawks, and the only reason I don't is because I'm doing a simulation of a stupid game that the Seahawks aren't in. So I've been playing Mahomes. And the Seahawks against the Chiefs. In fact, I'm doing a Seahawks versus Chiefs alter reality Super Bowl simulation tomorrow of the Super Bowl. I wish would have happened. But I've tried to beat Brady and the Bucs multiple times all week. I can't beat that sucker, man. It pisses me off, mostly because I keep throwing interceptions. But Doggone it. It's like, I can't get rid of this guy. Brady keeps beating me. Even in stupid Madden, I keep losing. It's frustrating. So it better not happen on Sunday. I'll be really pissed.
Join him, Norb. That's what you're doing wrong. Play as the Buccaneers against Kansas City.
Oh, God.
Well,
Maybe that way at least Brady will lose.
I did play Brady against Rodgers again because I had a reason for that. So it wasn't like I enjoyed it, but I did do it. I think I lost to that too. I think there's a problem here. I think I just suck. That's kind of a thing I got to work on. But
a couple of quick thoughts. First off, Brian, I remember you from the EC days, and Michael Long, back at you. I see you going there. In terms of this game, going back to what Seahawks Martin said with regards to liking and not liking and such, there's a lineman for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, a big lineman who just came back, who is a local product. So I'm rooting for that guy. Like, I would like to see him win a Super Bowl ring because he represents the homeland. He represents us here and those type of things. So I can see where, when Seahawks Martin brings up that point of you don't like a Tom Brady, that's okay, but you might want a team to win because you want other guys to win. Because again, it's not just about the one guy; it's about the team. And there's other guys out there that you want to see win and come back and celebrate and say, yeah, that was our guy. He's a local product. He made things happen. So,
say, Bill, what you do there is that way. When that happens, and if the Bucs and Brady do win this, I can go, well, at least Vita Vea gets a ring. That's good.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay. I'm okay with that because he can get one. That's cool.
I don't think Squab would be very happy because he's a cougar.
Rationalization, man. That's all it is.
And
justifying the pain.
And I had to say that is that the thing about, and this is why I always just love, especially when you're talking, like, honestly, let's just say, it dreads me saying this, but I have to say it either way because I want to point up a point that Bill Marsh the coach just brought up, is that let's say that my team is not in the Super Bowl. Let's say the Chiefs are not in the Super Bowl as well. I mean, if Breeze is in there, I'd be rooting for Breeze. I mean, ever since I started watching football, I love Breeze. All right. I mean, I can't say he's my second favorite quarterback because I mean then it'd just be some controversial stuff about if I even love Mahomes or not. But I mean, I think that the thing about, especially when you can root for a team because you want them to win for just the main reason that you want them to win, but it does not mean that you do not have to root for. You don't have to root for players on the other team because you just don't like one player on the team. And what I mean by that is, even though I just say, for example, if I just say I just don't like the Saints, but I love Breeze, I'll root for Breeze. It's just that I think that what I think I overlook a lot, and especially when I once made, I think early on before I even started YouTube, is that especially when, I mean, I think I've done countless times, especially not just this sport at all. I think that especially when you see a lot of other players that you wish would have won, but you just don't 100% support them, then it can really just, I think, say that you just have to root for that player. It doesn't mean I root for the team. I mean, I've had that many times in many different sports that I've watched. But it's just that even though that you just may not like that team, there are certain players that especially I've supported on teams I have not liked.
Oh, that's
you know who your second favorite quarterback should be, though? It should be everybody's favorite quarterback in Kansas City. And I think it should be this way in every city.
I'm waiting.
Your backup quarterback. That should be who your second favorite quarterback is, and especially after the way he made that fourth down throw and kept your team in the game a few weeks back. Like, it's always funny. Who's your second favorite quarterback? So it's kind of the same thing like Norb saying, it's some quarterback from some other team. No, your second favorite quarterback should be the backup of your own team. That should be the guy you follow.
That's the real GOAT as
well, right?
That's the real GOAT. If not for him, they're probably sitting back on the couch.
Quarterback is a guy who hasn't played for years around here because Russell never takes a break. That's what makes him great. You can count on him.
Oh man! All right, so this show is going so long, but we got to move the ship along. So we got to do our score predictions. So we're just going to go around the horn. Everybody, just
we didn't even talk about the trade.
I know. I've got trivia too. I mean, geez, this show's going to go till 10 o'clock. All right, let's do the score predictions. We'll start top of the clock and then move our ways around. So, Coach Marsh, we'll start with you. Your score prediction for Super Bowl 55.
Well, like I said, I'm rooting for the Kansas City Chiefs. However, I think when you just give a guy, to bring it right back to Tommy, when you give a guy the time that he's going to have and the way those players have flocked to him, I don't anticipate a high-scoring game. I think this is more about defenses trying to do things and special teams I think he's going to be a crucial player, crucial part in terms of field position and those type of things. So I'm predicting a 23-16 final. Whoa. Tampa Bay and Tom and TB12 and everybody. And Squabble gets his win at the Mirage, but not at Caesars.
All right, let's go to Squabble. Squabble, your prediction for Super Bowl 55.
I love how Coach thinks about this ball game. Look, 80% of people, like I said, that are spending money on this game are betting on Kansas City. They are a heavy favorite in this game. But why is that the case? I disagree with it. The line of scrimmage is what wins so many countless ball games throughout the history of sports. And this game, Tampa Bay has the advantage. 5 healthy offensive linemen. This week, Kansas City had all of their offensive linemen that are available, minus their 2 tackles and backup center. They've been practicing at every single position as a contingency plan when it hits the fan in the ball game. It's inevitable that things are going to go wrong for that offensive line as they're going to have no chemistry and they have backups playing. So the line of scrimmage dictates the ball game in the end. Final score, Tampa Bay 33, Kansas City 30.
All right, let's go to Lewis, the KC Sports Nerd. Your prediction for Super Bowl 55.
Well, I can also see, especially whatever way this goes, I am going to side a little bit with my score prediction with Coach Maraj. I do think the defense, especially could influence this game. I'm going to go a little bit higher. So I'm going to go, final score is going to be 27-20. Chiefs win it.
All right. Seahawks Martin, your score prediction.
I have the Bucs winning in overtime, 37-31. It's going to be a back and forth game. It's just going to be back and forth. It's going to be tough. It's going to be an almost all offense game. When it comes down to the final wire, Brady's going to clutch it up again. Sorry, I'm doing this at your expense, Sports Nerd. But I got the Bucs winning overtime, 37-31.
All right. Steezy.
Like I said, expect a whole lot of fireworks, expect a whole lot of greatness, expect a whole lot of splash plays, not only on offense, but also on defense, as both teams have a whole lot of playmakers on both sides. But I just think that at the end, Tom Brady, just like he usually does, like he's been doing his entire career, he's going to lead a game-winning drive. They're going to be down by, 6-7 late. And despite Pat Mahomes not having, so many offensive line starters, I think that he's still going to be able to keep the game close just because he's that great. But in the end, Tom Brady, he's going to make the plays that count the most, and he's going to lead his team to ultimately the game-winning drive, and they come out on top 34. Let me see, 33.
Wow, 1-point game. Whew, okay. Real quick, shout out to Dieter McBusiness again, our Tom Brady lover out there. Says about the earlier argument, Norb just touched on the most counterintuitive part of sports having broad appeal to the public. The evil empire. Red Sox fans know all about that. I guess that's what we're talking about. Fan loyalties and teams you just kind of jump onto because they're fun to jump onto. But he also called Squabbo. Where did he say it? He said, Squabbo's the smartest guy up there. According to Dieter McBusiness. Of course, because you're kissing Tom Brady's ass, but,
you know what the number one bandwagon team in America in all sports is, guys? And they reside in the state of Washington.
Oh, okay.
The number one bandwagon
team in America. There's studies behind it, and I called it out probably a decade ago. Like, why is everybody jumping on this when nobody even knows of this place, knows where it is, can't even pronounce the name of the school? Oh. What is it? It's in Eastern Washington. It's about an hour north of you, Squabbo. It's a basketball school.
Oh.
Gonzaga.
Everybody's a Gonzaga fan.
My cousin
everybody wants
there.
to be there. Nobody knows who they are, where they are. I mean, they are the study for bandwagon fans.
I think that
that's a good point.
I kind of agree with you on that. At the same time, to be fair, I actually do not watch a lot of Gonzaga. I will say that.
I don't watch much basketball either, Lewis.
I got a friend he wears Kansas City jerseys. He's got kids who wear Kansas. Like, I don't even think they know where Kansas City is, and they didn't know about them. And all of a sudden, now that they're winning, now everybody's got Kansas City out here in Seattle. You see jerseys all over the place. And that stuff is just funny.
That's where it sucks for like the OG fans, because you walk around public wearing like a Chiefs jersey, and then they'll think you're a bandwagon because they've been so good. And then when you tell them you're not, they'll probably still think you are. So it's annoying at times.
Where is Kansas City?
When I walk outside, my silver Seahawks.
It's in Missouri.
76.
It's in Missouri, man.
I'm kidding.
See, even
Of course.
you didn't know where Kansas City was.
I'm kidding, man. Read between the
on,
lines. I'm kidding. I know where Kansas City is, for crying out loud. Never been there, but I know too well. Seattle used to be in the same division as Kansas City.
Did Casey Sportsnerd have his jersey retired back there behind you?
I think that's a
if I'm going to be honest with that, actually, it is autographed. I will
Is
say
that a Boston Celtics jersey or
It's a CP3 jersey.
Charlotte Hornets?
Oh.
I'm not sure exactly. To be fair, that I had to say, I'm going to say with the utmost honesty here, I actually when I was first in here, it's been up here ever since I've actually been here. And to be fair, to this day, it's been autographed, and I actually do not know what jersey it is. So all I know is that it's autographed and it's a CP3 jersey. That's what I will say to you.
Very cool. Nothing like a C3PO jersey.
All right, I got to do my score prediction here. All right. So, in a tight game, and much like Squabo's screen, I think there still will be fireworks, despite the barber with COVID, despite the injuries on the offensive line. I think that Andy Reid will find a way to get Mahomes doing his thing. He's still going to find a way to get Kelsey and Hill and all those weapons of his down the field, because that's what they do. They're very creative, ingenious offense. The defense will be a challenge, but I think it's going to just keep going back and forth. So I think a high-scoring game, which in the end, there is some lead changes, but in the fourth quarter, Mahomes takes the lead, and it comes down to the last 2 minutes. Tom Brady drives down the field. And he's at the 1 yard line. He's at the 1 yard line. I don't know what he does, because it would be too easy to say he throws an interception on a slant, so he won't do that. But whatever he does, he can't get it in. It's for the touchdown to take the lead. Fails at the 1 yard line. Chiefs win in regulation, 34-28.
I can live with that.
Okay.
Squabs, you know what happened at that point? I go in and I shake him, I wake him up, and he goes, "Wait a minute. Squabble, you were the Tin Man, and Stevie, you were the Scarecrow, and Coach Marsh, you were the Lion. There's no place like home, Seattle. The Emerald City. There's no place like home."
And then
my friends, is how you wrap up a show.
And then I wake up, and we actually did. And then I wake up from the real nightmare, and I realize, we really did win Super Bowl 49. Wow, it was a bad dream this whole time. Okay. All right, so we do have a trivia contest to get into. I did say we were going to talk about the Goff-Stafford trade. I don't know. Can we actually do this in like a really short amount of time, or does this require like a deep diving breakdown, or can we do like the McDonald's fast food version?
One thing for sure about Super Bowl 55.
Let's do a fast food version. But go ahead, say, sorry, Seahawks Martin, I interrupted you. What were you saying?
One thing for sure about Super Bowl 55 is a lot of Seahawks fans like me are gonna be like, "Why can't our team play like this?" You'll see the Bucs and the Chiefs like just cruise down the field. You'll be like, "Why can't we do that?" It's gonna be a little annoying, but it's gonna be a fun game.
Now, what will be annoyed is that we're going to see both quarterbacks getting rid of the ball really fast, and we won't be saying, how come we don't do this? Next year, we will do this.
Okay.
And then on some fourth and ones. And on some fourth and ones where we decide to go for it, instead of running it up the middle, we do read pass options, and then decide what to do from there, which you guys should be doing also.
Look at this guy.
Okay.
Yeah. All right.
100% correct.
RPOs. Okay, let's do the fast food version of this Goff-Stafford trade, mostly from the standpoint of, since this is a Seahawks show, how is this going to change the Rams' fate, and by how much in next year when we see Stafford take the place of Goff? If we can do this as quickly as we can. I know that Coach Marsh has got a little goodie bag of treats to talk about on this one, so I'm going to save you for last. So I'm going to go reverse around the horn. We'll start with Steezy. Give me your fast hot take on what does this Goff-Stafford trade mean in terms of the Rams in the NFC West?
Oh, I think this puts them number one in the pecking order, without a doubt. I mean, look, they were the NFC team. While they didn't win the division, they were the NFC West team that advanced the furthest, out of all the teams. And I think that this definitely puts pressure on Seattle to make a move or two or three or four this offseason. It puts a lot of pressure on us to, improve. And I love the Shane Waldron, hiring, but to me, that's not going to single-handedly fix all the issues that plagues our team. And so I hope that Seattle looks at this move and it hopefully gives them a sense of urgency to have to address the offensive line, address that third wide receiver / tight end spot, address some holes on defense, re-sign some key free agents, extend Jamal Adams so we make sure that he's happy. Hopefully Pete Carroll and Russell Wilson are able to find a happy medium. But I think for me, my biggest takeaway is that this puts the Rams easily not only at the top of the NFC West, but I think they might honestly be the second or third best team, if not the best team in the NFC as it stands right now with Matt Stafford.
Ooh, okay. All right, Martin, let's go to you.
Yes, Steezy hit all the points. The only thing that the Rams lacked all these years was a good quarterback. Stafford is a good quarterback. They have a great defense that will hold them. They have Cam Akers, who's a very good running back. You have Cooper Kupp, Robert Woods. Those two are going to be being fed the ball a lot by Stafford. Stafford is very good. He can make plays out of nothing. And just like Steezy said, I think they're going to be at the top of the NFC West this year. We'll probably trail behind them. It's going to be tough unless Pete Carroll just lets Shane Waldron do his call his own plays, and we got to make a few moves in free agency.
And the draft.
And
all right.
Draft, yes.
All right, Sportsnerd, I know this isn't your division, but since you are a guest here, I'll let you weigh in on this. What do you think of the trade, and how does that impact the NFC West?
Well, I would just say, I'm not going to just say, I agree with everything you guys said. I am going to add this on, though, is that when I look at trades especially, I look at how it will affect teams in the long term and short term. So when I'm looking at this trade, I think that when you look at Matthew Stafford, he's great. I agree on that point. But the thing about him, he's not like a Deshaun Watson who's in his prime. He's a guy who's he's like in the older age group with like Rodgers and Brady on that side. He's one of those guys. So I think that basically what this trade is telling me is that the Rams are going for it now. This is because if you're looking at they're not getting a first round pick for forever now. I'm not going to say what year because it's basically forever. But what I will say is the thing that they need to know, and this is a big price that they're paying here, if the Rams really bust this move, they're going to remember this move from years down the line. If they end up not getting what they want out of this, the Lions are going to be basically waking up every single morning and basically saying thank you to the Rams for basically the next 4 or 5 years. That's what I'm going to be seeing from this trade. Now, as I said, I agree with all your points, but I think what comes out of this trade is I think that we need to know is that the NFC West is going to be something to watch for years and years and years down the line. And really, this division is going to be, in my opinion, going to be super fun to watch and a lot more interesting down the line.
Oh, yeah, for sure. They are definitely going for it. They've been going for it, right? The Rams have been swinging for the fences for the last 3 years.
Yeah.
But
they want it now.
They've always lacked something, and that's what cost them. But I feel like maybe this time it might work. You never know.
Wow, so this is doom and gloom so far. Squabo, do you have any different take on this, or is this going to be unanimously Rams on top next year with this move? Tell me something different. Squabo.
Just as it stands, though. Just as it stands.
Well, hold on.
I understand. Squabo?
So remember before the year when we traded for Jamal Adams and we ended up giving up Bradley McDougald 2 firsts and a third. And before the season, we were talking about potentially trading for Jamal Adams, Norb, Steezy, and I. And we talked about different prices, and I was not even near that price for Jamal Adams. But when we made the trade, I still said it's a good deal for Seattle because we're betting on ourselves. And if we win in the next 2 years when we're without of the first-round picks for the trade for Jamal Adams, then it's worth it because we're practically giving up second-round picks if we win a Super Bowl, and he will have brought us to success, and if he is a major impactor, which we all think that he is going to be. The Los Angeles Rams just paid the same price for Matthew Stafford. So I don't know how much Stafford is going to improve this team because, like it or not, Stafford, just like Goff, is a loser. He's been in Detroit his entire career. And while, yes, the franchise and the organization have been inept, and he's not been surrounded by the best cast. And yes, he is very talented, very skilled arm, and he was doing things, crazy sidearm throws, no-look passes before other guys in the NFL. But if this doesn't work, the Rams look like absolute fools, and they put themselves even further into a dangerous, dangerous hole. And I do not think that this puts them over the top of Seattle, because I don't think Seattle is done. And I think Shane Waldron unites Russell Wilson and Pete Carroll. And I think that's why Seattle is still on top of the Rams as of right now. I don't think it pays off for the Rams, and I think they're going to regret this down the road.
I'm so glad you took that stance, because Coach Marsh is about to come up and deliver some kind of lightning bolt of truth here.
Listen, hey, I know that guys want to get to the quiz or the all those type of stuff, but I mean, I got to say, Matt Stafford is arguably maybe my favorite quarterback to come out of college. I mean, I love the guy in college, and when he came to the NFL and he went to what many people would say is the worst organization in the NFL, let alone all of pro sports. I just felt bad for the guy, knowing that the situation is going to be awful. To call him a loser, or to say that he can't win or he can't do whatever, then that means Barry Sanders has got to be one of the worst of all time. It means Calvin Johnson's got to be one of the worst of all times, because those guys quit in their prime because of the organization that they were with, because it was so poorly run, because there was no coaching. They couldn't have anybody around them. They couldn't get the help. And yet here they are, two of the best to ever play the game, and didn't make it happen. Stafford has played in 16 games in 10 of the last 11 seasons. The guy's as durable as it can be. All he needed was the right offense. He needed a coach that wanted to win now, the sense of urgency that is about now. And in the parity that is the NFL, the argument of, well, if it doesn't work, they've given up so many draft picks, it'll take them. That doesn't happen anymore. Not in the NFL. So even if the Rams blew it, they're still going to be fine, because it doesn't take that long to jump right back on top. So I love the fact that McVay is a coach that says, hey, look, I had a quarterback that I wanted to give $100+ million to, but he didn't do the job that we thought. So let's get rid of him. Let's bring a guy in who we know is going to be hungry, tough as nails. If we just talked about a quarterback that's playing 20 years, we can't say a guy that's playing 12 years is too old. The guy's a specimen. The guy, people love to play for him, and people are just going to look at his wins and losses. Detroit's won one playoff game in 50 years. The best video I've seen in a long time was a 12-second video this week showing all the wins in Detroit playoff history. It was a 12-second play, 12 seconds of a guy taking a knee for the Detroit Lions a few years ago. So Matt Stafford is the real deal. The Rams just not only became the best team in the NFC, but they are, flat out, Stafford became the number one quarterback in our own division. So the only difference is we got a coordinator. We got a coordinator that can be a difference maker for Russ. And I'm not saying that Russ is not a better overall quarterback. I'm saying in terms of how the fit matches to what we do. If our coordinator does what I think he's going to do with the hybrid West Coast offense, and the way Russell Wilson he's a West Coast offense style quarterback, our team becomes the better team, our offense becomes the better offense, and Russell excels and becomes the better quarterback. But pound for pound, as the way they play, right now Matt Stafford is the better quarterback, and I'll take his 63% passing percentage in Detroit in his career over the 65% throwing percentage of a Russell Wilson in Seattle during roughly the same time. That is why we are going to be in a world of hurt if our coordinator doesn't mesh well with our quarterback and we don't figure things out. Because Matt Stafford and McVay and that offense and a defense that is a top 5 defense and the best special teams around, they become a money line favorite down there in Vegas when the season ends.
Damn.
Other than that, I don't have much to say on this one.
You said
great points
enough.
all around, though. By the way, great points all around.
I so badly want to say, you know what, Coach, you're wrong, because
I hope I am wrong, because I'm worried about this one for us.
I can't, because I much like the Niners, they're one decent or good quarterback away from being tops in the division. And we are not yet done to see what San Francisco, from what I'm hearing, San Francisco really wanted to get Stafford too. And that would have been the same, it's almost the same situation. You transplant those two quarterbacks, him in either of those organizations, they got the same good landing spot. Great defenses, running game, good offensive schemes. So really, either of those teams would have been fit to receive him. So the Rams obviously pulled off the situation to dump Goff.
Did try to go after Rodgers. So I mean, they're trying to win now, and I love that. I love that they're trying to win right now. That they're trying to get after and say, we don't. The days of 5-year plans are gone. We don't work in that day and age anymore. Like in society. There are no more 5-year plans. Yes, you have to make sure that things are set and ready to go and all those type of things. But man, we are, what have you done for me lately society? And McVay gets that. And he's from a great tree, right? He goes to the Mike Shanahan, all the way back to the Bill Walsh, all the way back through that, lineage. Man, Rams organization, they have it going right now. And I think it's great. I wish we were doing the same thing.
But there's a flip side to that, though, because, when you put all your eggs in one basket and you swing for the fences, if, as Casey Sportsnerd said, if it doesn't pan out, and if Matthew Stafford doesn't produce a Super Bowl appearance in the next 2 years, that defense that we are so excitedly talking about being the number one defense is not going to be intact for long. There's a just like Kansas City. I feel like that offense, as what it is right now, one of the most potent. There is a expiration date on that. There's an expiration date on that great defense. We saw that in Seattle. We had the best defense. That's what parity is. That's what makes the NFL the best league around, because you can't be the New York Yankees and the Boston Red Sox and have a $3 billion budget and have somebody else like, I don't know, the Seattle Mariners, who have a $1.2 million budget for their players, right? So I love that there's always turnaround, but it's okay. Like, take a chance. That's why we became who we became, and that's why we love John Schneider, because he can at least try to expand and take those risks in the parameters that are so tight of the NFL. You imagine what a Schneider could have done if we had unparalleled with a Paul Allen and a Schneider running our team. We'd have every great player there is because we'd be paying them so much. So I just think the Rams are taking that shot and saying, hey, we got our defense, we got a running game to average 120 yards, and we'll bring in a quarterback that's stable, durable, and that guys love to play with. Like, guys love to play with this guy. You hear it all the time. He played in Detroit.
He did have 5,000 yards in one season before, and that was with Calvin Johnson. That's talent.
Yep. The guy still hasn't won, though, a single playoff game, even when he had Calvin Johnson. So
he played in Detroit.
I know it's in Detroit.
It's a good point you make there. I can see it.
Norb, pick the worst team in Madden tomorrow and put them up against the Kansas City Chiefs. Take the worst team, and you'll never beat the Kansas City Chiefs. You can't say that he's not a winner because he played in Detroit. He played in Detroit.
Yeah.
I mean, Edgar Martinez, would we say he's one of the worst players? He's not a winner because he played in Seattle, where we never win baseball games.
Well, we're going to find out. This is why this
Cortez
experiment
Kennedy
is
was an MVP on a 2-14 team, which, by the way, is what you get when you hang out with NorbCam, because he has giveaways that are really cool with regards to Cortez Kennedy.
For you youngins who don't know who Cortez Kennedy is, you better look it up. Yeah, man, it's scary. It's scary to think what could be happening. And who knows what the 49ers are going to try to do here. Isn't there that possibility that Deshaun Watson going to the Niners? Isn't there some rumor about that possibility?
A few 49ers fans in the chat said it's not going to happen.
Not going to happen? All right. Thank God.
The thing, I would think that we probably, because I think what I see with trades, especially where a guy like Watson, like, I just don't see, like, why would you, especially just because of age, this is how I see it, and I 100% respect if you guys disagree with me on this, is that if they wanted to go after Watson, like, wouldn't they would have gone after him before Stafford? Because, like, it's just because of the age difference, like, because Stafford's
price difference.
So true.
Yeah. And price difference too, yeah. Price. So, I mean, I just think that if they were going to go after the Niners, I think they probably would have done that already before, like, if they would have gone for Stafford, in my opinion.
My feeling on the Seahawks, because you mentioned about the coordinator and all that stuff. I think what Seattle really has to do, they've got to really hit on the draft this year. I know we only have 4 picks, and we don't have a number 1, but we know he's going to manufacture picks some way. But we're going to have to hit on those. I think it's been. We have not hit well on our draft picks. Not in not in ways that we need to. And I think they've got to be much better on their drafts. They got to get guys who they can do like they did when they worked their magic back in 2012. I know it's hard to follow, and I compared it to the M. Night Shyamalan, who had the big hit with the Sixth Sense, and after that, he's like been, he's okay, but he's just remembered because he had that great hit in the beginning, and I feel sometimes Schneider's has that such a great draft with Russell Wilson and Bobby Wagner and all those undrafteds that covers up a lot of some of the not so great drafts that we've had since that time. Well, I think we got to get back to getting some of that stuff, because if we don't hit on those, we don't have the money to buy our way into getting the talent that we need. So we're going to have to draft really well this year. And I don't know what that is because I'm not a draft expert, but those guys are getting paid the big bucks to figure that out. So I feel like that's what they really got to do. They've got to have the draft be really productive. And obviously the second-year guys have got to really step up and do things. The Darrell Taylors of the world and, and two final quick points on, on this, back to the Stafford piece. He's the one quarterback with as much talent, as anybody around that has to do the least of the quarterbacks in the division right now, right? I mean, Goff has to go and be a world beater. He has to become the number one pick for Detroit to do anything. Stafford is not going to be expected to be a 5,000-yard passer. So he can just be above average, but he's not a manager style. But when they need stuff, he can do that. That to me is what makes this, marriage for them so special and so unique. And it'll be fun to watch, except when we play him, that he doesn't have to do a whole lot. And, if you're a season ticket holder, and hopefully we're back watching games again, I love the fact that our division is a quarterback-rich division, right? Especially if San Francisco lands someone, just from a fan's perspective, to go watch good football with good quarterbacks that are playing the game. There's some divisions where it's kind of blah, where you wouldn't be that excited. And usually who do you want to go when you go to watch a game, unless it's a Ray Lewis type from the past on defense and some of those others? You usually go because you want to see quarterback play. Well, now we got some quarterbacks that are legit. Yeah, no, NFC West they're tough this year. It's going to continue to get tougher. We've definitely got to evolve. All right, I think we're ready for some trivia. You guys ready for some trivia?
I'm ready.
I'm ready to get lapped.
Get it.
All right, we got fresh blood in here. I've been doing guest trivias for most of the past few weeks, but I decided Super Bowl week, I'm going to take the reins on this one. I'm going to design the trivia for the week. So every question here was hand-picked, hand-created by myself. I can't say that every question none of them have ever been asked before. There's a good chance there has been a question asked before, so that gives some advantage to the guys who have been on the panel for a long time, a.k.a. Squabo, Steezy, and Martin. But we'll see how well your memory serves. Some easy, some not so easy.
Are these all from 76 through 84, I hope?
The AARP seasons, like I said, I'm just going to say, it's Super Bowl week, so that's kind of the theme. All right, so let's do this thing. You guys get your Kahoots ready, Kahoot.com, whatever Kahoot.app that you're going to be on. Get ready, because here we go. And please keep the names clean. This is my favorite part, is to watch the names flyer in. But please keep them clean, because if they're not, we're going to dump you. All right, so here we go. Get ready.
Put on speaker view just to see the names.
The Kahoot number is 696-0556. 696-0556. Let the names begin. 696-0556. NORBFAM Nation. Sky High Aviation. Nick LeBeau. Keep Sportsnerd. Rickson. Rain City. Jim. TV Buccaneers, RJ Dog, Not Side B, Schmenegard, Wyatt MC Stokes. Whoa, it's flying by. Stephen Curry, Stephen Curry, LeBron James, Seahawks for Life, Super Bowl 1, DK 101, bruh, Hawks 2021, Loading, Nick, BB, Eli, New York Giants fan, Seahawks with a C and an HAUCKS, Kittle plus the boys, Rams the best, Norb's wax hair. Thank you. What else we got? Seahawks suck. Watson to Seattle. KD. We'll give you 30 more seconds to load in. Sea
Why
Frauds.
is my name not on the scoreboard?
Sea Frauds. That's pretty funny. 696-0556. You know one of the best mock names I had when we went to St. Louis to watch the game over there. We were doing our Seahawks chant, and then the Rams, after we lost, they're going, "See you later. See you later." That was pretty funny. Who Dat Nation? T-Man, BJ, clean name. Sea Frauds. Already said that. Cowboys, KD. Casey Sportsnerd. Let's see if we get to 50. 15 seconds. Let's get 6 more to 50.
I just have to put us out on the line real quick. I'm rooting for the one that says Keep Sportsnerd on here. I am
Keep
personally rooting for that one. Yep.
696-0556. Ooh, LOOL. I love chicken. Timmy. 3 more to 50. Tangled Sea Shag. Tangled Sea Shag. I'm surprised no one said anyone's balls yet. Usually there's always at least a balls in there.
Right now.
Yeah. Cue the balls.
Norb's asking
Flash.
Flash.
Cool is cool. Almost to 50. One more. Come on, Norb. There it is. Norb balls on cue. Let Lewis cook. Bandit in the super chat says, my prediction: Darth Brady. Okay, then Norb's balls again. Kind Duck 38. All right, we got our 50. We'll count it down to 10, 9. Elongated Musker 8. Anyone's balls 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Vanessa is hot. Come on now. Come on now. All right.
Should have cut it, though. You should have cut it.
Yeah, I should have cut it.
Send him out.
Yeah. All right, here we go. Starting the game now. Get ready. Super Bowl edition.
I think my name's not on the scoreboard, by the way. Just had a...
Oh, that's right. I got to fix it. Don't worry. You're good.
I got you.
Question number 1. In Super Bowl 40, which Seahawks receiver made Super Bowl history with 5 catches in the first quarter?
Oh, my God.
Joe Jurevicius, Bobby Ingram, DJ Hackett, or Darrell Jackson? In Super Bowl 40, which Seahawks receiver made Super Bowl history with 5 catches in the first quarter? Joe Jurevicius, Bobby Ingram, DJ Hackett, or Darrell Jackson? Time is up. Oh, yeah. I had to toss a little soft, easy softball one in there. That is Darrell Jackson. Let's go to the YouTube, or let's go to the panel here. We got you all hooked up in here. There's Casey. All right, let's start with Steezy, as we always do in this panel. Steezy, what you got?
I was going to say Darrell Jackson, but I thought that was too much of a softball toss. So I was just like, I don't know if he's going to start off like that. And so I said Bobby Ingram.
Oh, man, you overthunk it, man. You overthunk it.
Yeah, I did.
You had it. Go with your trust in your instincts. Squabo.
I remember this statistic, and I got it right.
Squabble's on the board. Coach Marsh.
Yep, softball.
All right. Encyclopedia, Martin.
I remember reading this book called 100 Things Seahawks Fans Need to Know Before They Die. And they talked about Super Bowl 40, and I remember the Super Bowl 40 part of the book, they kept mentioning Darrell Jackson. I was like, okay, I'll just go with Darrell Jackson.
All right. So, Casey Sportsnerd, the one guy who's not a Seahawks fan in here, but what do you got?
The reason how I got this right, I'll explain this for one reason only. I was between two just because of the way the name sounded. I was between Bobby Ingram and Darrell Jackson just because to me those are the only two I'm familiar with. But just because I think that I think Bobby Ingram because I was thinking about I think his name is Evan Ingram on the Giants about the tight end I think. So just because I think that Darrell Jackson did sound a little bit more known to me, so I'd say Darrell Jackson.
Pretty sure Bobby Ingram is also a wide receiver, right?
Yep, he was. All right, so you got it nonetheless. All right. So we've got ones across the board. Steezy needs to get on the board here. But let's go to the YouTube scoreboard with that easy question. Let's see where everybody lands up. Right off the bat, Sky High Aviation, no stranger to NorbCam trivia. Seahawks with a C. In second, Clean Name in third. Let Lewis cook in fourth. And Jim in fifth. Just call me Jim. He's dead, Jim. All right, next question. Number 2. In Super Bowl 48, who scored the final Seahawks touchdown? Doug Baldwin, Jermaine Kearse, Marshawn Lynch, or Percy Harvin? In Super Bowl 48, who scored the final Seahawks touchdown? Doug Baldwin, Jermaine Kearse, Marshawn Lynch, or Percy Harvin? Time is up. Ooh, I see people were kind of tossed and torn between Doug Baldwin and Jermaine Kearse, but it was Doug Baldwin at the 5-yard line, kind of nipped and tucked and dove in. He got the last score of the Seahawks touchdown right there to get the score to 43. Let's go to the panel. More recent times. Let's go to Steezy.
I got this one wrong before, and I made sure that wasn't going to happen again this time around. So I said Doug Baldwin.
All right, learn from past mistakes. He's on the board. Squabo.
I remember this one.
Easy peasy. Coach Marsh.
Yeah, I remember them making sure that he got one.
All right. Encyclopedia.
Insert NORPOD, got it.
Sportsnerd.
I got this one right before, so I definitely remember this one. When I played the trivia before, without me being on the show.
Okay, all right. Good memory there. So 2's around. Steezy with 1. Tight ball game. Let's go to the YouTube scoreboard right now. Oh, changes. Cameron Hughes shoots up to the top. Seahawks with a C is in second. Cool is cool to third. RJ Dog in fourth. And anyone's balls in fifth. Stephen Curry is the highest climber, up 16 spots. Next question. Number 3. In Super Bowl 49, the Patriots came back in the fourth quarter after trailing by how many points?
Oh, I know this one.
7, 13, 11, or 10. In Super Bowl 49, the Patriots came back in the fourth quarter after trailing by how many points? 7, 13, 11, or 10. And we're talking about the big deficit. Time is up. Oh, yeah. 19 and YouTube got this one correct. 10, the correct answer. Remember that? Do you remember that shot of Sherman to the camera? Anyway. That was a good time at that point. That was after Doug Baldwin pooped on the ball. That was very not Baldwin-esque. I didn't realize it happened because when I was in that stadium, it happened on the other side. Yeah, I know they cut it out, but I was on the other side of the stadium, so it was way far away. And obviously, we weren't watching the screen. We had no idea that it happened. We were like, why did we get a 15-yard penalty? What happened? We had no idea that he did that. It's just strange move by Doug Baldwin. But I'll never understand that one. And no one ever really asks about that. People are so transfixed on the 1-yard line thing that nobody asks about Doug Baldwin. What were you doing with that? Anyway, temporary insanity or something. Let's go to the panel with Steezy.
Yeah, we were up 24-14 going into the fourth, and ultimately the rest is history. So I said 10.
Yes, it is history. Squabo.
I remember this one too.
3 for 3. Oops, got to change this over here. So far, it's been pretty easy for these guys. Coach Marsh?
Yeah, we were at a fun Seahawks Super Bowl party, and some people said they were going to leave at that point. And I said, are you kidding me? And they still chose to leave. And man, oh man, did they give us a call while they were driving home. Yeah, I got it right, but I remember people thinking a 10-point lead was all we needed to win this game in the fourth quarter.
People should know they should never leave a Seahawks game early, no matter whether we're losing or winning. Bottom line is it's going to be close.
They jinxed it.
Encyclopedia.
Yeah, I remember this. I'd love to forget it. And we were up by 10 and blew it.
Man, there were so many plays, too, after that. There was that one play that stands out to me where on offense, you remember we were like just past midfield and it's just all fresh. I just watched it. Wilson threw a kind of a out route to the near sideline, and if he caught that, it would have been like first down at the 25-yard line to Jermaine Kearse. Landed in his hands, bounced around, and hit the ground, and we had a punt. If we had caught that ball, man, we would have gone up by at least 13 and probably 17. Anyway, killing myself.
Casey Sportsnerd makes the catch that would have been the greatest catch in Super Bowl history if we win the game.
Well, one of the great, I think that that Matthews catch though down the sideline.
He had a few.
I remember.
He had a few.
I would probably argue that catch is greater. Just said it, Mike. But to answer the question, what I would say, I actually thought. Here's why I said 10. Here's why. Originally, when I thought that the answer was not on here. because when I was thinking about the score, first of all, I realized, and when I second thought about it, I remember it was 14-14 at halftime because of that late touchdown at the end of the first half to Chris Matthews. But the thing I remembered the final score, which was 28-24, which means that the Patriots scored 14 and then the Seahawks scored 10. So, and then they also had 14 unanswered points. So if I just did that logic, I just figured I was 10. But originally I thought it was a much bigger lead because I thought it may have been like 2 touchdowns or so. So I did almost lean 13, but I did go with 10.
Okay. All right. That was a very deep explanation.
Very squabble.
Right. I appreciate that. All right. Let's go to all right, let's go to the scoreboard here and YouTube and see what we got. Lots of changes. Nope, not really. Cameron Hughes still in first. Seahawks with a C in second. RJ Dog moves up to third. Cool is cool in fourth. And Anyone's Balls in fifth. Watson to Seattle climbing up 18 spots. And next question, number 4. In Super Bowl 40, who scored the Seahawks' only touchdown? Jeremy Stevens, Darrell Jackson, Sean Alexander, or Bobby Ingram? In Super Bowl 40, who scored the Seahawks' only touchdown? Jeremy Stevens, Darrell Jackson, Sean Alexander, or Bobby Ingram? Time is up. Look at that. That one's a little bit mixed reactions there. 11 of you guys guessed the correct answer, which was Jeremy Stevens, tight end out of UW. Let's go to the panel. Steezy.
Man, I'm still on the Bobby Ingram train. I'm on Bobby Ingram.
Oh, man. All right, Squabo.
Man, I was expecting to have the same logic as Steezy because last time you gave us a question for the second time that we both got wrong the first time. You got it right. And you gave us this question before, and I believe we both got it wrong. But this time I remembered that last time you told me it was Stevens, and you were right. So I said Stevens.
Good memory. Wow, very good. Coach Marsh.
Yeah, because I always remember after he scored it, they started talking more about his wife or future wife than they did about him, famous soccer player. So, yeah, got it right. The question is, who caught the touchdown that had the phantom holding? Question for another quiz show.
Yeah, we know that.
I know that one.
Yeah.
That was
Burned
tough.
into my brain. All right, Encyclopedia.
Jeremy Stevens. For some reason, something just told me it's Jeremy Stevens. I'm not cheating, by the way. It just felt like it. Sean Alexander was very quiet that game. Darrell Jackson, I see why someone would pick him, but I don't think so either. And then Bobby Ingram, definitely not. So, Jeremy Stevens.
All right, Casey Sportsnerd.
I had no idea, so I just took a guess and I said Stevens.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Okay, lucky guess. So hanging in there with the rest of the crew, 4 points
I like the red on that
apiece.
screen, by the way.
What's that? Oh, right. I didn't plan. I had no choice. I didn't plan that. 4 points for everybody, and Skeezy with 2, but it's still a tight game. Anybody's game. Let's go to the YouTube scoreboard.
That's a strange spelling for Jeremy.
Cameron Hughes in first, Seahawks with a C in second, Norb's greasy wig, hey now, in third, Let Lewis Cook in fourth, NORBFAM Nation in fifth. So some changes in there. Tough round. 3 players lost their 3-answer streak. All right, next question. Number 5. In Super Bowl 48, who recorded the only sack for the Seahawks? Chris Clemens, Bruce Irvin, Michael Bennett, or Cliff Averill? In Super Bowl 48, who recorded the only sack for the Seahawks? Chris Clemens, Bruce Irvin, Michael Bennett, or Cliff Averill? 3 seconds.
God.
Time is up. Wow, look at that. Answers even across the board. A lot of guessing here. Chris Clemens had the one recorded sack for the Seahawks in that game. It's funny how your memory sometimes feels different. At least it was for me until I looked it up. Steezy.
I say Chris Clemens. I wasn't actually, no, I didn't remember it, but I do remember after the game, I had him as one of my guys who I would have voted as for Super Bowl MVP if it wasn't going to be Russ. Like I voted for Russ a whole lot of times, but I was like, oh, you know what, Chris Clemens, he had a sack, so I wanted to vote him, but that's how I remember it.
There was only one guy who should have been MVP in that game, and it's the guy who wrote that article in the Players Tribune the other day. Cam Bam Bam Chancellor. He was the true MVP of that game. Squabo.
So originally I was thinking Brandon Mebane, and that wasn't an option. So I was confused, and I went with Cliff Averill.
I believe Cliff Averill had the hand hit the ball of Peyton Manning that resulted in the pick six.
I was like, maybe they called it a strip sack. Maybe, I don't know.
It was still a pass. I mean, the pass went off. It was just hit. But I remember that. That was definitely one to throw you off. So, Squabo with a rare miss. Coach Marsh trying to keep his undefeated
I do like that
streak
Squab was trying to make up a new stat line with strip sacks. How many strip sacks did they have in the game? That's a good.
That's true. Yeah.
Which is why I also took Cliff Averill. Not because I thought of the strip sack, but for some reason I was thinking that he was the one that had the sack.
So Coach Marsh also loses his 4-streak answer going on here. So a couple of stumbles while Steezy now working his way back up. Martin, Encyclopedia.
I knew it couldn't be Cliff Averill, that's for sure, because the only thing I remember him in that game was definitely hitting Payne's hand and then knocking Smith the pick six. So I took out Michael Bennett too. It came down to Chris Clemens, Bruce Irvin, and then that's when that corner of my brain strikes again, tells me it's Bruce Irvin. I thought that this was some sort of like not I thought that this was some sort of how do I say it? A harder question. And so I felt like you were going to trick us somehow. So I went Bruce Irvin and.
Wow! So all the veterans stumbling here. The guest has a chance to take the lead. He's not even a Seahawks fan. Casey Sportsnerd, what say you?
He's getting it. I'm calling it. He's getting it.
You're wrong. Here's what I will say. All right? This is what I will say. And here's my logic here. Here's why I got this one wrong. Now, Clemens is a guy that, I mean, of those names on the list, probably my fourth option would have been Clemens. That's what I would have said.
Oh.
Like, my first option probably would have been Irvin. That's what I would have said. My second option probably would have been Cliff Averill. But I was between, but overall I was just between Irvin and Averill. I got it wrong either way. So.
Wow, so tough one, except Steezy. Steezy gets the point. Everybody else holds steady. So we got 4s across the board with Steezy. 1 point behind at 3. Let's see what happens in the scoreboard. This is getting exciting right now. But not so much changes in YouTube land. Cameron Hughes still hanging on first. Seahawks with a C in second. Norb's Greasy Wig still in third. NORBFAM Nation up to fourth. And Let Lewis Cook gets onto the top 5. And Schmerigad is the highest climber up 19. Next question, number 6. Who was the Seahawks leading receiver in Super Bowl 49? Doug Baldwin, Chris Matthews, Ricardo Lockett, or Jermaine Kearse? Who was the Seahawks leading receiver in Super Bowl 49? Doug Baldwin, Chris Matthews, Ricardo Lockett, or Jermaine Kearse?
In terms of receiving yards, right?
Yes. Leading receiver. Yep, yards. And U2 was on it. Chris Matthews. We talked about, it was you, Sportsnerd, that talked about Chris Matthews, right? And the catch on the sideline? Mm-hmm. All right, let's go to the panel. Steez, for a chance to tie.
I said Chris Matthews, because obviously if we would have won that game, he could have been Super Bowl MVP. He only had 4 catches, but I think it was for like 109 yards. So he was definitely our leading receiver that game.
So weird, man, because he was so on fire, and then after the second half, he just vanished like a fart in the wind. And his career after that too, man. I mean, never to be heard from again. Just disappeared. I don't understand it.
Hell of a fart.
Or a hell of a wind. I'm not sure. But Squabo, what do you got?
I used Steezy's logic. I just remember that he was going to be Super Bowl MVP potentially, and I went with him.
All right, so Squabo gets back in the winning track. 5 points. Let's go to Coach Marsh.
Yeah, I think everybody thought that he was going to be the guy and be the breakout receiver. Instead, he broke out of his Seahawks uniform and didn't do anything else ever again.
2 receivers remind me of that. Guys who had these great years and then suddenly disappeared. Mike Williams. Do you remember Mike Williams, 2010?
Yeah.
That guy.
Disappeared after that. I think he showed up overweight or something at camp and just gone. So him and Chris Matthews. Unexplained. UFO got him. All right, Encyclopedia.
Ouch. I went with Jermaine Kearse mostly because I was thinking of that big one before the interception. I was thinking of Chris Matthews for a while. Something told me it's Jermaine Kearse. It's that corner of my brain again. But if I end up getting last place, I don't really care because I got straight A's this semester, so I guess that's the reason why I put it up.
Well, congratulations, Seahawks Martin.
Seahawks Martin, do you think Russell Wilson's in the top 5 as a quarterback?
Yeah.
Well, you're going to finish in the top 5 tonight, so just know that you're going to be.
Oh, wow. Wow.
That's not too hard to do.
Coach.
I must say, I'm proud of my girls because since you brought up straight A's, both my daughters, Vanessa and Sophie, both got straight A's this semester.
Congratulations!
Congratulations to the girls.
Look at that. Taking after their mom.
And I don't know if you guys know, but did you guys know? Yeah, that's right. Did you guys know that Krispy Kreme will give you a free donut for every A that you get? So my girls got to take their 6 A's apiece, get a dozen free donuts from Krispy Kreme. And we got 2 in the Pacific Northwest. So we hit the Seattle one. We're going to run over to Issaquah this weekend and get 12 more. Anyway, don't tell anybody.
Krispy Kreme tour.
My mom told me since I got my straight A's, she's gonna take the family to Din Tai Fung or something. So
nice. Wow. Well deserved. Now, Seahawks Martin, as much as
Seahawks Martin, that's fantastic.
As much as I want to offer my congratulations on the straight A's, the fact that you said, "Oh, I don't care if I win this, if I get last place," because that's loser mentality, man. Stop thinking that way.
Okay.
You're not going to sit there and go, "Well, that's okay. I don't care if I win." Never. No mercy, man. Sweep the leg.
I
got a problem with that? All right, Casey Sportsnerd.
By the way, so let's make that. I'm gonna make that 3. I also did finish with straight A's throughout my entire first semester.
Woo!
For that also.
Congrats, man! All right.
I have 2. I actually have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 honorable scholars from my entire middle school / that career on here.
Jeez.
So now, unfortunately, I'm not a big Krispy Kreme guy, but there is a positive. Have you ever heard of a place called Dunkin' Donuts? It's very old fashioned.
Yeah.
Yes.
Heard of it.
Yeah, there's a stupid Patriot sponsor.
I just got basically one time I got an entire free dozen just for one because it was a special thing. They were offering a free dozen thing or something like that. It was something special, and then it was right after my straight A's ended, so I just went there and I got that instead. So
you get a dozen for 1A?
No. I mean, no, it's because it was the 2 thing also because it was me and then also one of my siblings too. Yeah, so it's half a dozen for one. Same exact thing. It's just not the Krispy Kreme.
I see. All right. Well, congratulations, man. We're amongst very smart people here.
Is that all it takes? I should have told my kids that they'd get donuts and they would have got straight A's. Is that what it takes to be inspired?
Hey, man, they say dangle the carrot in front of them. Just dangle the Krispy Kreme and whatever motivates.
Dangle the original glazed?
Yep, it's the original
just
glazed.
taking notes.
Oh, man. I noticed Squabo and Steezy didn't say anything about straight A's this semester.
Oh, boy.
But hey, you're going to what do you call Wazoo again? The what school?
Harvard of the Northwest.
Harvard of the Northwest.
The shots across the bow.
But I guess we can't all be straight A's at Harvard. So Harvard's a tough place to get straight A's at. So it's understandable.
B+ or they kick you off the round table.
Squab won't easy. Just enter UW and sheep and see what you come up with. All right, we'll talk on another time.
Oh my God. Jeez. Man, if you Google enough 2 pairs of terms, you'll get anything creative if you search the right terms up. Come on now.
No, I did say though. I did say my answer actually. My answer I did say Chris Matthews because the 2 plays that were very distinctive plays that I did remember was that leaping grab at the end of the half and then that unbelievable catch on the sideline and late in the game. Those are I think he had over 100 receiving yards from not.
He did.
Mistaken. So just in that, I just knew just from those distinct plays, and I think he had over 100 receiving yards. So that's why I knew it was Matthews. So I have to, if I didn't already mention before on a previous show, did I mention that I got straight A's through high school? So and here's the other thing. You didn't mention
valedictorian.
this though. You mentioned this is that the GPA, like, because it was a question about like Richard Sherman having like a 4.2 GPA.
Yeah. How's he get a 4.2?
And then he said like the highest one was a 4.0, I think, or something like that. And
that's the highest we could get in our district.
Yeah.
But then Steezy gave us an education, and I supported it on how you can get like a 4.7 now, which I think gets you like to the net or something. Or what type of did you get? Cream-filled donuts when you get a 4.7?
You get a scholarship to the moon. A whole lot of those.
Oh man, I think they called Sherman was called the salutatorian for getting that 4.2.
Yeah, I think it's
not valedictorian. It's actually salutatorian. I believe that's the term that he.
Yeah, I've heard of valedictorian. I've never heard of a salutatorian. I think it's like I thought that was like a college.
It's a higher honor.
Yeah, I thought it was a college thing.
No, they said he got salutatorian out of high school for getting his 4.2.
Okay.
I didn't know that existed.
I knew it was a thing. I didn't know where it was from, though. I didn't know where it was from.
Well,
I can tell you this, that the people like me that are in the low 3.0 range in the Super Chat are getting antsy for the next question.
All right. Well, yeah, do it then.
Well, Casey Sportsnerd said he's never heard of valedictorian. Well, you're going to you keep going the trajectory you're going. You'll be hearing that very soon.
I've heard of valedictorian. I have one in my school, man.
Yeah, okay. All right. Let's go. Let's go to the, all right. So we got I got three in the lead, tied with 5. Squabbo, Coach Marsh, and Sportsnerd, and then Martin and Steezy with 4. Tight game. Here we go. Just go to the YouTube scoreboard after we're sitting there. Whoa, no changes. Cameron Hughes first, Seahawks with a C in second, Norb's Greasy Wig in third, NorbFam Nation in fourth, and Let Lewis Cook in fifth. Nick is the highest climber with 13 places. Here we go. Next question.
Oh, probably.
True or false? The 05 Seahawks became the first team to lose a Super Bowl while winning the turnover battle. True or false?
I like this question.
The 05 Seahawks became the first team to lose a Super Bowl while winning the turnover battle. True or false?
It's very relevant for the Seahawks losing every game they lost the turnover battle this year.
Yeah, man.
False.
And more people guessed the wrong answer than the right one. The correct answer was false. They were not the first team to do it. Let's see if our panel knows this one. Steezy, trying to keep up with the pack in a tight race. What do you got?
Not with this question. I said true just because I wasn't sure the answer. And I remember, Coach Marsh talking about how his one teacher, talking about 75% of the time it's going to be true. And so I was kind of banking on that. Better luck next time.
Your logic is flawed. That's what happens when you listen to Coach Marsh. All right, Squabbo, what do you got?
And I ain't have a clue about this one. I promise you I didn't have a clue. And unfortunately, similar to Steezy, I went to class at the school of, the low 3s GPA guy, Coach Marsh, and followed the 75% true thing and got it wrong.
Harvard of the Northwest, you are. All right, so tough ones there. Coach Marsh, your pupils followed your advice and failed. How about you?
Yes, 75% is usually true, which is why I also went with what my teacher told me. That means the next 3 are probably going to be true. But there was
go down with your shit.
Well, I guess I got to say, at least they're loyal to you, man. They're all in with the advice of Coach Marsh.
I love it. I love it.
All right, Encyclopedia. Do you follow the Church of Marsh?
I didn't jump on the coach train, with all due respect, Coach. But it paid off this time. So now I'm tied with Coach, Squabbo, and hopefully Sportsnerd, unless he just nails it again.
4-way tie, but Sportsnerd with a chance to take the lead, but does he?
Nah, I was on the Bill Marsh Dragon train.
We went from church to the train to the Dragon train. Man, I love it, man. It's like over the map.
Well, I meant the Bill Marsh train. I just threw in the word dragon there because I didn't know why.
I like it, man. I like it.
All right. Well, so with that, it becomes a 4-way tie for first, 5 points apiece with Steezy right behind with 4 points. Just so you guys know, I got a bunch of questions from this book right here. Team Trivia, Seattle Seahawks, the Ultimate Gridiron Challenge. No, man. I was busy.
In the same books.
I had to write a script. I had multiple calls today. I had to work.
Remember that.
No, man, I'm not smart enough to know that.
Read that book, you didn't.
More reading you need to do.
Matches you will.
All right, let's go. All right, let's go to the YouTube scoreboard. Let's see the scoreboard in the YouTube land. Oh, we have a new player in 5th place. Cameron Hughes at first, Seahawks with a C in second, Norb's Greasy Wig in third, NORBFAM Nation in fourth, and New York Giants fan out of the blue gets into the 5th spot. Combo breaker, 3 players just dropped their 6 answer streak. So sorry about that. All right, next question. Number 8. In Super Bowl 48, what was the score at halftime? 17-0, 21-0, 22-0, or 24-0? In Super Bowl 48, what was the score at halftime? 17-0, 21-0, 22-0, or 24-0? Time is up. Oh yeah, that was a softball toss. Everybody remembers the score because then Percy Harvin lit it up. First play into the half. Get to 29. 22-0 was the correct answer. 20 of you guys got that correct in YouTube land. Steezy for the tie, the temporary tie.
I said 21.
Oh, no!
Come on, man.
Oh, Steez!
I just. That's all I gotta say.
Oh man, I'm sorry, man. It's sometimes the easiest. Yeah, I spelled juice wrong in the 6th grade spelling bee. All right. That was my worst moment ever. Most embarrassing moment. I was the ratings.
Did you spell it and walk back to the back of the line like, yeah, I got it? Then
Yes, that's the problem. No, I went up there and it was me against a 4th grader, Angela Hammondtree. If you're watching, Angela, I still hate you. No, I'm just kidding.
He's like this all the time.
yeah, you hold these grudges, Norb. We gotta get you some help, man. You hold these grudges.
Yeah, man, I'm a vindictive sucker. No, man, I was like the reigning champion. I was supposed to be repeat at this thing, and then there was just me against the 4th grader, and then they gave me my word. I was spelling all kinds of tough words. It's funny, I don't remember any of the words I spelled right, but when you do spelling bees, you remember every single word you spelled wrong. And I came up there, they said your word is juice, and this isn't from the entire school. It wasn't like some little in a classroom, whole school. So everybody's like, I'm like Mike Tyson going against Buster Douglas in this thing, right? So everyone's like, oh, Norb's got this for the win. They're all like high-fiving. I walk up there, I'm like, juice, J-U-I-S-E.
I get ripped on for an analogy between Matt Stafford and a DH, and you compare a spelling bee to Mike Tyson.
It's the worst analogy.
Hey man, you got to understand, was it
suddenly
steak?
threw in that you're like the karate kid.
like
you automatically got to go to the final as the repeat potential champion. You probably just had one word, like put Norb in the final, give him one word, see if he gets it.
No,
it's like
man,
Squab
I had
was
to
late
work.
in the final. He's gonna be psyched when that happens.
No, man, it was terrible. Martin,
Martin's out. We'll see it.
Oh, you got to go.
I gotta go. Yeah. My
with the
parents
lead, he's got to go.
Spelling bee.
I gotta get down there before my parents yell at me. But,
okay, so Martin's
I did get it
DQ'd.
right. I did get it right though. I did get it right though, and so I gotta go. See you guys.
All right, so you got it right.
Seahawks Martin, remember that Brady Super Bowl MVP.
All right, so I'll leave you with
Tom
the
Brady.
6 here since you get the answer correct. All right, let's.
Take care, Martin.
Let me adjust this a little bit here. All right,
Let's all
Martin's
just miss
out.
all the questions so Martin wins.
Martin, you won because they couldn't answer any more after that. All right, let's go. Where were we at here? I can't remember. Oh, we just did Steezy, right? Isn't that where we stopped? We just got Steezy.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. So
Norb, how would you spell phlegm?
F-L-E-M. I know how to spell phlegm. P-H-L-E-G-M.
That was an adult spelling bee word that was missed.
Really?
Watched phlegm.
Wow.
Seems
Would have got me.
I'm telling you, man, I was.
I wish
we at
that.
WC would just spit. That's.
I really wish that we could have as the intermission to the documentary. there's like the little clip of him misspelling juice, and then everyone in the chat just keeps on like blowing it up.
Thank God it's not on video. This is before video. It didn't exist. Video didn't exist
What
then.
was that girl's name that you beat?
Angela Hammondtree.
Had the big camera on her shoulders, and he's going to bring it out and post it.
I didn't even have a camera yet. This was before even I had a camera. I was like the first one in our neighborhood to get a camera. This was we're talking Jurassic period of human existence. All right, so sorry, Squabo, did I get you yet? No, we're still talking. Okay, so Squabo, right?
I got it.
Oh, wait, I did get you. Okay, so Coach Mart. Wait, did I give you the point yet?
Mm-mm.
Oh, so you have to have 6. Okay, so Coach Marsh.
Yeah, that was 22 for sure.
All right, and Martin's out, but he got it. So now we go to Sportsnerd.
Yeah. This is a softball toss for me. I remember it was 22-0 at the half. I saw that video, you just cheering like crazy in those stands. And the thing that I really wonder, especially, is like, if they didn't have like the safety, wouldn't it be 21 or would it just be 20?
It'd be 20.
It would have been 20.
2 points.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah, at one point it was 5-0 that game.
It was 5-0 in the Giants game, for God's sakes.
Yeah, man. We're slow starting that game. All right, so now we're moving to the scoreboard, right? Get so sidetracked with bad memories of things. This has been like a bad memory week for me. It's like all the worst experiences of my life all coming together. Super Bowl week brings it out of you. All right, here we go. Oh, no changes. Everyone's steady. Cameron Hughes at first, Seahawks in second, Norb's Greasy Wig in third, NorbFam Nation at fourth, New York Giants fan in fifth, and not side B is the highest climber up 15. Next question. Number 9. Had Seattle won Super Bowl 49, they would have become the first back-to-back Super Bowl champs since the Steelers, Patriots, 49ers, or Cowboys. Had Seattle won Super Bowl 49, they would have been the first back-to-back Super Bowl champs since the Steelers, Patriots, 49ers, or Cowboys.
Confused at first.
Time is up. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
And sadly against the team.
At first.
Sadly against the team that ended up stealing it from us, which is why I cannot root for Tom Brady. All right, let's go to the panel. Steezy, come on, man.
Softball toss.
Yeah, pretty easy one. Squabs.
Yeah.
Marsh.
Does anybody know what is in common with the other 3 teams there?
And wait, what's not in common with them? Or what is in common with them?
What is the theme with the other 3 teams based on the question?
Were they like back to back? Was it like that?
I don't.
Because it wasn't it was the Patriots and it was the.
No, it's not that. But I'll tell you,
it's the Niners.
It's what makes the Patriots accomplishing it that much more bigger of an accomplishment, right, Coach?
Go
if
for
I
it,
know where you're
Norb.
going.
Yep.
Before the salary cap, isn't it?
70s, 80s, 90s, 2000s.
That's what I said.
We'd have been the 2010s.
That's what I said.
I did say that.
Yeah.
Oh, I know. That's what I was talking about earlier during our argument. That we were supposed to be the team that would have, in the way that the destiny should have played out, we should have been that little chapter right there. That okay, we're right there with history. But am I right? Isn't that before wasn't all this before the salary cap?
Yeah, those other ones. Yeah.
So that's why it also makes what the Patriots did that much more respectable. See, I can respect a team. I respect what they accomplished. Not even just the Brady. I respect what the Patriots accomplished because it's so hard to do in this era.
So why don't we talk about Terry Bradshaw as one of the greatest?
Oh yeah.
I don't know. Why don't we?
It's a good question.
Because the defense
That's
was
why
so
I want
dominant.
to check into my new channel for things like
It's
that.
It's the hair.
Or the lack of.
Depending on what movie you saw it with, it could have been something else. He's showing more than his bald head in some movies.
Oh. All right, let's go. Where are we at here? Did we do any scores yet? No.
Coach Marsh and I.
Oh, so we did go. Yeah, so we're at Martin. We're at Sportsnerd, right?
Yeah, this is a softball toss, and let's make it the Chiefs on Sunday. First team since the Patriots, please.
Okay. So we've got a 3-way tie: Squabble, Marsh, and Sportsnerd with 7. Steezy hanging in there with 5, and Martin, who's not even here, is still in second place. All right.
The asterisk second place.
Just to put insult to injury. All right, here we go. Scoreboard, YouTube.
Oh, double point time, right? Is it double point time?
It is double point time. Wow. Again, no changes. Cameron Hughes in first, Seahawks in second, Norb's Greasy Wig in third, NorbFam Nation in fourth, New York Giants fan in fifth, RJ Dog making a comeback with 3 straight answers. So Cameron Hughes is there, 7,034, and Seahawks is right behind, only not even 200 something points behind. Pretty tight. But now we enter the double trouble land. Here we go. Next question. Worth double. In Super Bowl 40, what Seahawk intercepted Ben Roethlisberger and returned it 76 yards? Marquand Manuel, Kelly Herndon, Marcus Trufant, Michael Boulware. In Super Bowl 40, what Seahawk intercepted Ben Roethlisberger and returned it 76 yards? Marquand Manuel, Kelly Herndon, Marcus Trufant, or Michael Boulware? Time is up. Wow, I had a feeling everyone would be spread on this one. This is a tricky one. Correct answer, Kelly Herndon. 5 of you got this correct. Panel time, double. Steezy for the tie.
Man, I was so sure about this one. I said Michael Boulware.
A very good choice. A decoy, however. No points for you. Squabo for a sizable lead in the contest.
Not nearly as confident as Steezy, but I did too say Michael Boulware.
0 for 2. We got to go to the AARP division to see if we can get one here. This is closer to your realm, being that it was Super Bowl 40.
Yeah, we
Coach
were
Marsh.
talking about it the other night at the bingo parlor that it was Kelly. And the thing is, it's amazing if you look at that squad, like the group of no-namers that got us to that Super Bowl on the defensive side. Yes, we had Lofa, but not many people that even us AARP guys would really recognize by name.
So Coach Marsh takes a big jump in the lead here. He gets to 9 points. Let's go to Sportsnerd to try to stay close. What you got?
I had no idea. I just went with Trufant. That's the only one I knew. I love that line from that video. It's like Marcus Trufant, but not as good looking, man. That was. That's like the reason why I went with him. First of all, it's the only one I know on there, and that line is still in my head. So that's why I went with him.
Like Marcus Trufant, but not as good looking.
Wasn't he there when you reacted to that?
I was. There's a reaction video where I'm up there with Marcus Trufant watching that video and getting his reaction when that line comes up. This is a music video I did about the 2017 draft. And I was talking about Shaquille Griffin being drafted, and I said he's like Marcus Trufant, but not as good looking. Oh, yeah, there was a bunch of guys. And David Moore was also in that draft. And some others. Ethan Posick. He's like Max Unger, but younger.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Bing Crosby.
There we go. There we go. Oh, Jack Duvall says, "Sup, Norb? Sup? Thanks for being here in the super chat. Appreciate it." All right. Big changes. We'll find out here. Oh, I wanted to add to that. You were mentioning about the no names, Coach Marsh. In Super Bowl 40, what's so disappointing about that game was, again, the injuries that plagued our secondary. Because remember, we lost Kenny Hamlin. Do you guys remember the Hammer Hamlin? Do you remember how we lost him that year?
Like
you guys know?
Something?
Yeah, I don't
Torn
recall.
ACL?
Ken Hamlin got into a street fight in downtown Seattle, got hit over the head with a construction sign.
Gosh, yeah, now
knocked him out of the game. He got to actually raise the flag, I think, in one of the later, in the playoff game or something. But he was our star cornerback. He was out. And then Andre Dyson was our safety, also great player, in a blowout against the Eagles, ended up spraining his ankle on an interception for a touchdown, knocked him out the rest of the year. So in a blowout game, he gets this touchdown that costs him his season, and we end up losing.
It's basically like Eric Fisher when you're up a comfortable lead, and the one thing you don't want to do is miss a Super Bowl, and then you get injured and have a torn Achilles and miss the rest of the season.
Yeah.
Crazy. Anyway, and who was that former Seahawk who got? Never mind. There was a Super Bowl involving a former Seahawks secondary. I'll have to bring that up in a future trivia. All right, let's go to the YouTube scoreboard. Closing to the end here. Changes all around. And Cameron Hughes still in first, but NORBFAM Nation moves up to second. Seahawks drops to third. Stephen Curry moves up to fourth. And Norb's Greasy Wig drops to fifth. 3 players hit 3 straight answers. 2 more doubles coming up. Anything can happen. Next question. Number 11. In Super Bowl 48, who scored the 2-point conversion on the Broncos' only touchdown? Demaryius Thomas, Wes Welker, Eric Decker, or Julius Thomas?
All right.
In Super Bowl 48, who scored the 2-point conversion on the Broncos' only touchdown? Demaryius Thomas, Wes Welker, Eric Decker, or Julius Thomas? Time is up. Oh, Demaryius Thomas got the call, but he was the one, I believe, who scored the touchdown. But it was Wes Welker who got the 2-point conversion. Yeah. Let's go to the panel. The game was still within reach, technically. Steezy.
Not after this one, because I said DT.
Oh, like many people did. All right, so Steez is stuck at 5. Squabo, chance to tie up with Coach Marsh for the time being. What say you, Squabs?
Yeah. It's funny you ask, Norb. If there was one thing that I remembered from the Super Bowl, it was that one of the Thomases caught the 2-point conversion. And that's why I said one of the Thomases, Demaryius Thomas, and was wrong.
You're so sure of yourself, too. For a second, I started doubting myself. Like, did I put the wrong answer in here? Coach Marsh.
Yeah, so, when you, as a coach, you carry a card around that talks about, should you go for 1 or should you go for 2? Mine only would go up to about, 35 points. So whether they were going to go for 2 at 36 points was under the category of who cares? At the same time, Wes Welker is one of Peyton's favorite players of all time. That's why he got him at least a courtesy set of points to get his name in the old stat sheet. So, yes, wow. Wes Welker it was, but why they're going for 2 with the time 36 points. But apparently that's what the card says. You go for 2 in that situation.
Okay, all right. Well, Coach Marsh with a sizable lead, but Casey Sportsnerd could keep it close if he gets this question correct. Does he?
I do. I do remember I think I just said this earlier. I think it was Demaryius Thomas who did get that touchdown. And then Wes Welker was the one that got the extra point. Wasn't Wes Welker on a Super Bowl team with the Patriots? Wasn't he their tight end or something? Yeah. No,
not the tight end, but he was.
Yeah, Wes Welker was a slot guy before he went to the Broncos. All right, so Casey Sportsnerd technically still in this game with one question left, but it's going to be tight coming down the stretch. All right,
are we at the 1 yard line?
We're at the 1 yard line.
I think we are.
We're at the 1 yard line, and Patrick Mahomes will have a chance to send it to OT. Let's find out first what's happening YouTube. Scoreboard. Oh, double points had no effect. No change. Cameron Hughes still in first. NORBFAM Nation second. Seahawks in third.
Covering the spread and the over-under number.
Yeah. Norb's Greasy Wig in fifth. Go Pack Go has a 6-streak answer going on.
Good job, Cameron.
But I think Cameron's got this locked. He's got this beat by 3,000 points. Cameron Hughes.
He's awarded himself emoji trophies.
He just slid to the top and would not relinquish. All right, one more question to go. Let's see what happens here. Final question, worth 2. In Super Bowl 49, which Patriot tackled Marshawn Lynch at the 1 yard line before you know what happened? Jamie Collins, Chandler Jones, Dante Hightower, or Vince Wilfork? In Super Bowl 49, which Patriot tackled Marshawn Lynch at the 1 yard line before you know what happened? Jamie Collins, Chandler Jones, Dante Hightower, or Vince Wilfork?
Play that must not be named.
Time is up. Well, not many answers to be had here left, but 6 of you, the majority on YouTube, actually got this right. I'm kind of surprised. Dante Hightower, yes, it really was the hero of the game, if you ask me, because he stopped Beast Mode from getting in on a rush play, which was the right call at that point. Missed it by less than a foot. Maybe 2. I saw that right in front of my eyes. I was about to say, touch! Okay, back to the game. Steezy for pride.
Yeah, I'm glad I just I finished with the higher score than Martin, because if I would have finished with under Martin with 4 or 5 questions, I would have been very, very.
You're right. I didn't even think about the pressure you were under just now.
Oh my gosh!
So,
man,
there's a lot riding on this one.
I'm going to send the Skype message to Martin right now.
I regret the New York Jets. You can get the first pick in the draft unless you don't know how to lose, right? Oh God,
I regret not building this up. I didn't even realize how much was at stake. So you got that correct though, and saved yourself the humiliation of losing to a guy who wasn't even here for half the contest. All right, so Steezy finishes with 7 points, but Squabo, who started off hot, suddenly goes cold, but has a chance to get a little bit of a strong finish here. But what does Squabo say about this game-saving play for the Patriots in Super Bowl 49?
Squabo says it's a really good thing they ain't nothing on the line, because I got it wrong.
So Squabo, it's Steezy. Fused at the hip at 7 points. All right, when Martin, we know, is already out of the competition with six points. So it comes down to this play. It's 4th down and 1. Ball at the 1-yard line. Mahomes under center. The Buccaneers line up in a goal line formation. It's an obvious run defense. But what does Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes draw up here? Casey Sportsnerd, what do they call?
Mahomes on a read pass option for Hill for the end zone, batted down by. Yeah, it's batted down. I picked Chandler Jones.
Oh,
batted down by. Oh my God! What's his name?
I'll tell you who it's batted down by when we switch to the next person.
Well, for the next person on cue, Coach Marsh. Victory already in hand, but a chance to pad your lead for Vegas numbers, just to win the betting line.
So because they came in with the standard offense they were going to run, a certain 300-plus pound lineman decided to go into a drop zone blitz and run around the edge. And Vita Vea was the guy who ends up knocking the ball down because he saw on film that you guys had run this much, much earlier in the season, just like Malcolm saw that it was the same thing that we had done earlier in the season as well. But what's crazy is that this is actually on my list of videos that I will be putting together based on unsung heroes of big games. And that play right there, there's so much storyline behind that specific play. And every video you watch of any reaction to that is every Seahawks fan going, and then he got tackled. But you don't really see where the tackle takes place. And it's an unbelievable play that you're right, Norbert. It is the play of the game, really, in terms of heroes and everything else, and nobody talks about that.
If Russell Okung holds his block for 5 milliseconds,
he's in.
We're singing it.
You're going to see it really broken down in a future video.
Ooh.
I mean, we're talking a breakdown of one play.
I just got some breaking news, by the way. It's got some breaking news from Pro Football Talk.
San Francisco signed Deshaun Watson?
No. The Panthers have signed Steven Sullivan to a future contract.
Mic drop.
The Steven Sullivan, that's almost like the signature on the jersey that we're not sure if it's
I just put that out there.
I was all ready for that. And the announcement is?
Deshaun Watson to the Niners?
Yeah, no. Oh. I just did that because just for whenever I see it, I just always just point out right away. So.
All right, Steven Sullivan.
Sportsnerd, they don't call you the Adam Schefter of NorbCam for nothing.
That's right. Breaking news. All right,
I have heard that.
In the scoreboard, the panel scoreboard, Coach Marsh, dominant victory, wins by 13 with a score of 13. Casey Sportsnerd in second, though. Valiant effort with 9. And tied for third is Steezy Squabo with 7, and Martin with 6. Granted, he did not finish the contest. Still got 6 points. All right, let's go to the finals. I think we all know how this is going to turn out, but let's see who's got second and third. Now, on the podium, in third place, with 8 out of 12, NORBFAM Nation! In second with 9 out of 12 is Seahawks with a C, and the obvious clear winner with 11 out of 12 is Cameron Hughes. Wow, 11 out of 12. Very impressive. Let Lewis cook and anyone something were the runner-ups. Man,
Valiant
impressive,
fourth place.
Cameron Hughes, man. That's something, man. How'd you pull that off? I want to know what question Cameron Hughes missed.
I have
Cameron
a feeling
Hughes,
it's the interception one. I have a feeling it's the Kelly interception one. That's what I'm saying. Because that
I
was
think I do remember him saying bullware. So yeah, I think that was one.
Oh, was he in the chat talking about it? Is that right? Cameron Hughes is still chatting. Cameron Hughes, is that the question you missed? The interception? Cameron Hughes, if you're still with us, type it into the chat.
Oh
No, he said no.
No. Okay. Oops.
Oh, what did you miss? Which question did you miss?
Yeah,
I want to know. I mean, when you miss only one, you got to know. Was it
Cameron
juice?
Hughes, if you're still with us.
Was it? How do you spell juice?
Juice.
He will never live it down.
Oh, I'm telling you, I still have people who I run into that still bring that up today.
It's like
Amy Reeder, who I've known since kindergarten. I ran into her years later. It turns out a mutual friend who's a neighbor of mine said, "Do you know an Amy?" I said, "Yeah." She goes, she asks, "How do you spell juice?" I'm like, "Oh man, are you kidding me?"
No, I'd say like
It's like 45 years later.
That's brutal, man. Like all those years later, and someone sees you, and that's what they bring up.
Because
brutal.
that is
Ultimate
you
Hawks fan
laugh.
with the
You
asterisk
laugh when I
doesn't know how to
compare it to what's his name? I was
Mike
spacing.
Tyson.
Mike Tyson. You laugh when I bring that up, but seriously, man, it was that big of a thing. Norb losing to a fourth grader. You know how big a
So
deal
you're
it is.
calling her Buster Douglas?
Yeah, she was Buster Douglas of whatever 1980 or whatever that year was.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway,
Cameron said he couldn't even remember.
can't remember. You never forget the ones you miss, man. I remember every single spelling word that I miss. You got to remember every single trivia question that you miss. Come on, man.
Like it's the ultimate Hawks.
Oh,
fan.
it was the
false
true false turnover one. Okay, well,
Yeah, that's there you go.
that was a
True,
good
false
trick.
one.
That was a good trick question. All right. Well, how did I do? Do you guys like that trivia?
Yeah, solid.
Yeah,
Marsh liked
I
it.
loved it, Norb.
I did love it. I did love it.
You know,
yeah.
but normally if it's a trivia that Marsh is going to like, it's because it has questions for like the 80s and 70s and stuff. But most of these
Yeah.
questions only went back as far as Super Bowl 40. It was all Super Bowls 40, 48, 49, 40, 48, 49. Anyway, well, that was fun, you guys. We went all over the place with that one, but good stuff. Well, let's give you guys an opportunity to talk about what you got going on. Let's work in reverse order because I know that Coach Marsh, I'm going to save you for last because you got the most recent to announce. So let's start with KC Sportsnerd and work your way up in counterclockwise position. Sportsnerd, tell everybody about what they can find on your socials or YouTube channel.
Yeah. So as of right now, I'm just going to put the fact out there. I am 2 away from my first 50 subs, by the way. So if you guys have not done so already, please subscribe. I think my link is in the description below. If not, I'll do it after. I'll just get it real quickly. But yeah. So my channel name is the KC Sports Nerd. I have I talk of course Chiefs football, but once there's off season coming, going to be uploading. Looking toward March Madness that coming up. Going to probably make some predictions on that. Then I'm also, so if you really just want to find football, basketball, that sort of content, subscribe.
All right. Thanks for the info. Let's
hit him up to 100. I mean, if half the people watching right now live just go on his thing and subscribe.
Wait, hold on a second. You said you're 2 away from 50?
Yeah. Well, that's
let's get it right now.
Here, let's put okay, we're going to do this. We did this last time.
Yeah, I'll put the link in the chat real quick.
Put it in there. Let's see if we can get this to happen right now.
Everybody hop on that sucker and get him up there. Let's get him up there.
Literally.
Yeah.
He has brought the game tonight. He is great.
Did you put the link on there?
I'm going to.
All right, put it up there, man.
I will.
Earned respect.
It's KC Sports Nerd, correct?
Yeah, it's spelled really weirdly forever. I always spell everything like super weirdly, by the way.
Well, I got it. Yeah, 48
I
subs.
like that you say weirdly.
Yeah.
Spell it, Norb.
There you go.
Weirdly.
Yeah, I know. That video was so outdated, by the way.
WEIRDLY. Weirdly.
Yeah, that's so outdated, by the way. Like, that was before...
You look so different, man. You look so different on there.
I grew like a good 2 inches. I grew...
Well, you're at 49.
50.
Hey, you're at 53 now, dude. You're at
There you
53.
go. Boom.
There we
Let's
go.
Oh,
We made it
gets the
happen.
boom.
53 subs for Sportsnerd. Congratulations. Man, I look at that video. I totally forgot. I remember when you looked like this. You're like a totally different person. It's so wild.
Do you remember the first time I actually even made made an appearance? Do you remember that one?
I mean, I
It was like
can't.
the first ever fan panel that we did.
Yeah, I
was
remember the
me,
first
Nick,
fan panel. Was that
Andrew.
the first time you ever did?
Yeah, it was
Okay.
me, Nick, Andrew, and off July 4th weekend.
That's
who it
so
was.
funny, man. That's
Oh,
hilarious.
yeah.
All right, let's go to Steezy A. Smith. Talk about your channel and what they can find from
sure,
your
subscribe.
socials. Yeah, go for it, man.
yeah. What's it called? I know I was supposed to have a few videos in the last couple of weeks. I just, I've had so much going on, moving into a new place, gonna have a new studio, and just the entire week and a half, we've just been renovating. And hopefully we'll be done with that this coming weekend. So as soon as that's done, production will ramp up. And Norb, like I told you, if you remember, I'm gonna hopefully hop on with OBS. I'm gonna start live streaming, doing all that. So until then, if you guys could, just please subscribe to everybody over here, and please subscribe to Coach's channel, Coach for Life. He just started it up, and so if you guys could show him some love, show him the love that you guys show us on a regular basis. Smash that like button on this video, and obviously if you haven't already subbed to Norb, then I don't know why you're watching. If you haven't subbed yet, do that. My brother DJ Squab, sub to him, please. KC Sportsnerd just got him over 50. Let's give him the 70. Let's give him the 80, 90, and then 100.
100.
And then let's not forget Seahawks Martin. Just because he's not on doesn't mean you shouldn't sub. So please definitely sub to him. And then last but not least, for me, you can follow me on all socials, Steezy A. Smith. And please be sure to follow my Instagram, actually my sports Instagram at Steezy A. Smith. I just hit 900 followers on there, almost 1,000 followers on that account. So if you guys haven't already, please be sure to follow that. And as always, thank you for this platform. Thank you for this opportunity. Very, very blessed. And that's it for me.
All right. Yep, and I'm putting your links all in the chat so you guys can hit it and get the going. You got what 1.27K Steezy, so you got good numbers. Yours are so high, we can't even count by ones anymore because you're so up there now. So, but let's get Squabo next. Squabo, talk about you.
Yo, so I got videos dropping about what Shane Waldron means for Seattle moving forward, getting very analytical. I already recorded it yesterday, and it will be uploaded this week. So stay tuned for that on my channel at DJ SQUABO. Got the show this week talking about the Super Bowl. CZ will be on it. It's going to be a lot of fun. So, yeah, stay tuned on my channel as well as everyone else here, and show us all some love.
Squabo's channel right now at 660 subscribers. Can we get him to at least 670? Can we get 10 more in here? DJ Squabo's at 660. Can you guys hit him up? Squabo's link is in the chat, so just hit there if you haven't done it already.
And Coach March is 3 away from 30 already.
He's all right.
Yeah, I was thinking like 2 that we'd get 200% increase from 2 to 4.
Yeah.
At this stage, everyone counts huge. So
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
Greatly appreciate everything you guys do for us also. We all greatly appreciate it.
Wait, Norb, real fast.
Yeah.
Just because I forgot and I feel bad. Shout out to my guy, all of our guys. Tyler Parcher, here's a shout out. And then Cameron Hughes, I hope this is your channel because I just subbed and I'm sorry I hadn't subbed before, but I hope this is your Seattle Sports Network. Is that the right channel?
I think so.
If you guys haven't already, please be sure to sub to Cameron Hughes too. I mean, he's always out here spitting facts, acing every single trivia test. So, he's at 863 subs right now. If you guys can get that up, that'd be greatly appreciated too.
All right. It's just a sub love fest right here.
I'm just going to bring up one other point real quick because this is kind of a NORB-FAM. My birthday's in a month, by the way.
Oh, yes. Yes.
Did you get that? I'm not sure. I sent it to you on Instagram, I think, but then I wasn't sure if I...
Let me make sure. I'm pretty sure I got it. If not, I'll make sure I get it from you before you hang up. I'm pretty sure I do.
What do you do on that, Norb? Do you sing like getting jiggy with it to these guys or some happy birthday?
Yeah, he should do like birthday dedication.
It hasn't happened yet, so you're going to find out. You might be one of the first ones. I think your birthday is going to be the first one to turn here. So yeah, you'll find out soon.
Too, so that's even another.
Did you ever see that one? Isn't it Marilyn Monroe? Didn't she serenade the president?
Oh yeah, that's
Happy
one of the greatest ones ever.
dear president. Anyway, you won't get something like that though. All right.
I know.
All right. So Squabble. Let's see what Squabble's at. What Squabble had. Squab's at 662. 662. Can we get 8 more? Can we get to 670 for Squabo before the show's over? Let's make it happen for him. Come on, there's only eight of you. There's got to be at least 8 people who's not subscribed yet.
Friends, cousins, everything. Greatly appreciate it.
Let's get him to 680 before the show is over. 662, hanging in there. All right, so while we're waiting, let's get, I got the link already to Coach Marsh's show. So, Coach, this is a big announcement for you because it has gone live this week. So talk about it, man. Coach Marsh with his launch of his YouTube channel this week. Talk about it.
Yeah. So, and I love that, people doing the subs and all those things. And I don't want you to focus on that right now with me. I mean, of course, it's fun and everything. But what I'm excited about is this, the coach for life component. It's not just me saying that I'm a coach for life. It's me saying that everybody is a coach for life in terms of whether you're a dad, whether you're a friend, whatever. We all coach in all different ways. So, I'll have some different segments that are coming out, but tomorrow we'll be launching the Discord, which 2 months ago, I didn't even know what a Discord was. So all sorts of neat, fun things that have taken place, but there'll be some tomorrow at 4:30. I'll be doing a live show. So, I hope people will start to follow, because to me, as important as this for the likes and the subs and all those things, I want people to watch because they genuinely want to watch and enjoy what I'm putting out there. And I think that's what's fun with working with you guys is that it's fun to be a part of. So I hope that, part of it is not just, getting those clicks and everything else, which is obviously important. But when you go on these guys' channels and their stuff, watch their content. I think they put out great content. That's to me what is important. And that's what I'm aiming to do. And I'll definitely try to steer it towards what I think people want to see. And I'll come from a different angle than what I see out there. So again, Coach for Life is what it is. C4L, the letter C, the number 4, and the letter L. That'll be part of the logo piece that you'll see. And a lot of enhancements coming up. And it all stems from, as I joked earlier, but I meant it seriously, the Norb tree, the NorbCam tree is what he's created. And, and I'm living proof of that. So very excited to be launching that. Got a lot of people that have been helping me behind the scenes. Pretty much all of them are connected to Norb in some way. And I just appreciate that he's allowed me this opportunity. So a lot of different types of videos, the live stuff, short videos, neat videos, things you'll have never expected that would come from me. Really, really genuinely excited about doing this and launching into this platform.
Awesome. So congratulations, Coach. It's exciting to see your channel up, your first video up there. And the first video I see is our handiwork from way back in the day when we were doing highlight videos for you guys.
Yeah,
back in fact,
East Side
every
Catholic
week
I'm going to place a segment from an older highlight video they were way ahead of their time. I've said it many times, but from the all mic'd up segments to the multiple camera angles, trust me, if you watch that, and they're all about 3 minutes long. If you watch them, you'll be blown away with what Norb and his business partner, Mike Lorraine, and another guy, Cliff Potter, were able to do. It blows your mind. So I wanted to at least have one video out there before I start putting my own. So I've chosen that one to start with.
That was pretty cool. Just watching it today, we brought back memories. It's like, oh, I remember these plays, and I remember that video. It was fun to do. So we can look back and just see that Coach Marsh, as of today, at this time on February 3rd, 8/17, my God, we've been going that long. 8/17 on February 3rd, you have 32 subscribers. So one day when you look back and go, oh, man, I've just broke 1 million. Here's a video to look back. When I first launched my channel, I only had 32 subscribers. Here's the video that has that. Squabo was at 662. And someday we'll look back and go, remember that? When we only had a measly 662.
In a couple of years, I'll be like, God, I'm at 74 subscribers. Just 2 years ago, I was only at 30-something. Like, I really appreciate the growth of the channel. It's been awesome. It's been really
good. That's like my channel I first started. All right.
Yeah.
Really
okay, so I think that covers everybody here. Of course, check out Seahawks Martin as well. If he was here, he'd talk about his videos as well. The links in the description.
Here. I don't know what the theme is. It's always long and I'm on here.
Well, we had a lot of good stuff to talk about.
Yeah.
So for me, obviously, I appreciate these guys taking so much of the time out of their evening to spend with me. So thank you guys, my guests, for being here. You guys are always awesome to debate, discuss, and go back and forth on. And thanks to everybody who was in the super chat supporting me. Appreciate you guys. And to all viewers, you guys are great. Thank you for sticking with us for this long show that we just did today here. And I just want to remind you guys, it's Wednesday. Thursday, tomorrow, I got a couple of videos. I'm going to do this what if Seahawks versus Kansas City Chiefs if they were in the Super Bowl. I'm going to do a Madden simulation tomorrow. I'm going to also be reading the Cam Chancellor article tomorrow. So you look for that. And then, of course, Friday, the one I'm really excited about is the YouTube premiere of my documentary NorbCam: A View from a 12, the 2014 Seattle Seahawks season. So we're going to do a premiere of that, and then right afterwards a reaction kind of Q&A for those of you who watch the show. So I can't wait to get to watch that with you guys.
I got my TV set out there all set up.
Awesome, man! I can't wait. And then afterwards, I want to hear your raw reactions. It's the closest thing to having like a movie premiere. And then afterwards, they usually do like a Q&A where you get to be on stage and talk to people, get questions and stuff like that. So I can't wait for that. It's going to be a blast. So if you guys will tune in. And then of course, we got Super Bowl Sunday. Super Bowl 55, Chiefs, Bucks. Obviously, this panel with varying loyalties and teams they're rooting for, which I don't understand, but that's okay. I respect it. And I will be doing a reaction to that with my dad coming over to react to Super Bowl 55. So if you guys want to come catch some of our reactions, we'll be doing that as usual on Sunday. So that is it, you guys. Thank you so much. Enjoy the rest of the week. Click on here for more videos, and we'll talk to you guys all later. Go Hawks.